Welcome, everybody, to
The
Fat Guys on the Little
Awkward
Podcast, episode 142. Charles looking at me weird. March 31st, 2021. We got a big show for you today, folks. We're going to go over some things, and I want to preview next week. We'll start right there. But first, this is always Steve, and
I guess
Charles.
Charles.
Live via satellite. BV, how you doing?
All right, how are you?
Not bad. Are you wearing a burgundy Alabama shirt? Is that what that is? Or
No, it's just a burgundy polo.
oh, I thought you were like, ooh, high end Alabama stuff now.
He's alumni. He gets
fucking roll tide.
He got Saban a new couple bricks in the old library.
So BV's here. We're all here. So next week it's gonna be chaos in here. We're gonna be on a Saturday, April 10th.
Well, we still got a show on Tuesday, right? Are we doing a show for Tuesday, like a regular show leading up for our last regular show?
We should do that.
BV wants to go our last regular show on Tuesday, and then we'll finish up on Saturday.
All right. Maybe I'll get Holly in here.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know what day she works.
And tell Smoochie it's his last chance to get on board.
Well, he's still in Florida right now, getting yelled at for wearing a face mask. Did I tell you that? So him and his whole family went down there. There's like 20 of them. And he went to like a local grocery store. Some lady came up to him. He was wearing a mask. Why are you wearing that? You don't need to wear that. I tried to take it off his face.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious, yeah.
Well,
Holly
we
told
saw
me
that video of that grocery store where no one had him on and stuff
Well,
like
he must
that.
have went to that grocery store because he got yelled at.
Whoa.
Yeah, they were not happy he was wearing it. Some lady, a random middle-aged lady came
That's
up to him.
unbelievable.
Yeah. So that's what's happening in Florida right now. I commend the kid for having a mask
Let's call
on.
it right now. What's the over-under? I'm at 50-50 with Gretchen shutting us down on Monday.
Ooh.
I'm telling you, I can
we
feel
got high
it.
numbers. Yeah.
Numbers are insane off the charts here in the state of Michigan. I think there's a high possibility Gretchen pulls the plug on Monday.
Oh, they're going to shoot her.
You joke when we drove past East Lansing as I went to Grand Rapids. I was joking with Heather. Like, do we got to pull off and join the Proud Boys? Like, what's like, I can't drive through Lansing now without thinking of that.
She closed the shit again down. Oh, my God.
I'm
they're going to
telling
shoot
you,
her.
you don't feel that? Because the numbers are insane.
I feel it in the bowels. Yeah.
BB, you got any theory on that?
No, but it wouldn't surprise me. I saw an article, or not an article,
About
YouTube,
Michigan?
Yeah, about how it was on one of the national news
Why are we
shows.
booming? I don't understand.
Because, dude, everyone in Michigan's lost their goddamn mind, Steve.
Yeah, but everyone in Texas did too.
Okay, but everyone from Michigan. Okay, so I happen to work at an establishment that's attached to the airport. We are insanely busy. I'm telling you, Steve. We have posted. So just this past week, Detroit DTW Airport had the most flights since last March. The most
Everyone
flights.
was out of here on spring break.
Yes, it's crazy.
Nobody
People
gives a
have
fuck.
lost their minds in this state. And we are so you know firsthand from this past election that we're a razor-thin Democrat-Republican type of state. We're a 50-50 blend of a state. So you've got those Trumpsters who are like, fuck you, Gretch, I'm going. So it's getting crazy.
She apparently spoke out this morning and said that she plans to deal with these rising cases with masks and vaccines, not new restrictions.
Oh, okay, man.
We'll see.
We'll see how long that lasts.
When you go to Home Depot and you can't buy any paint because you guys wanted to go to Florida, this is what happens. Gretchen shut you down.
So there you go. That's a look at what's happening around here.
It's crazy, man. Like BV saying, we're on
Those are
all the
people
national
in your
news.
neighborhood.
This is
In your
crazy.
neighborhood. Yeah, I don't understand why we're going up so badly because we're like one of the least open states next to California.
We're also one of the biggest obese states.
Yeah, I know. So I think apparently none of us
doing?
give a fuck, and we're still going for more. But Monday, I'll tell the people out there, I will have my first vaccine shot.
Oh, man.
So I have to head to Troy at 10 a.m. So I'll be
Troy what? A Troy, like the
Henry
facility,
Ford
Henry
Health,
Ford facility?
Yeah, something out there. It's right next to. It's right out there where the semen facility was where I had to go when I got my vasectomy.
Jerking a cup?
Yeah, I jerked in a cup, and then I'm going to get a shot next door next to it. So I got that going for me.
I took my in-laws over to get their second shot. They got their second Modernas through Beaumont at the facility across from Beaumont, Oakwood, Maine, kind of over there. BB, what's the story on you getting yours? What do you got?
Well, I got my first shot this past Sunday. I just happened to
on
get
a
lucky.
Sunday, no less, too. Huh?
Yeah, I happened to get lucky middle of last week to I was just checking, every morning was checking the Walgreens app, and I found they had open appointments at the Walgreens. It's like 2 miles from my house, so I got the Sunday appointment for the first one, and I'm already scheduled for my next one.
Did you get that free shot? What'd you get? The Moderna, the Pfizer? What you
Moderna.
got? Oh, you got that Moderna. No, not too many people getting the free shot nowadays. You don't hear too much of the Pfizer stuff, everything. So,
well, there's a national government website. It's like Vaccine Finder or whatever. And I would go on just for the past 2 days. I haven't been looking a long time because I knew we were coming close to where my age group's going to be up. And God, I'm old. Huh? My age group's up now.
You were like the second age group.
I know. It's like, what the fuck?
I'm right at the bottom of that age group.
Yeah. So it's like vaccinefinder.com or something. You put in your area code or zip code, and at 50 miles, and it gives you a list of places with it in stock and out of stock. And at Kroger and Rite Aid always said in stock. So then what you do is you click it, it takes you to the Kroger site.
Okay.
I fill the information out. It says, oh, you're obese and diabetes. You qualify. So I'm like, all right, cool.
She's like, finally, it's paying off.
Yes, yeah, finally. But then you hit, like, schedule appointment,
There's
and
nothing there.
you just get a pop-up notice that says, fuck you, you get nothing.
Man.
I was like, all right. So then I go to Rite Aid, and then Rite Aid does the same thing. You fill out the thing, and then a bunch of them pop up in Ohio, like Toledo. I'm like, well, I am going to Toledo this weekend. Maybe I'll just,
slide by a
So,
CVS. Yeah.
So then I hit them, and each one you hit, it says, no appointments, no appointments. So that vaccine finder's
Not
useless.
very up to date.
Yeah, so then I end up on my chart.
You
for
feel
Henry
like you're
Ford.
looking for a PlayStation right now?
Yeah, it's really what it was. Or like the Nintendo Wii.
Yeah,
where we're
you're
all
in an
looking for it.
in-stock alert on a vaccine.
Yeah, it's like, what are you going to get first? The Xbox 360 or vaccine?
real.
Yeah, I don't know. One of the two.
Yeah,
But
I think I'm with you. I'm just going to wait for Beaumont Health and kind of go
Yeah.
through my health system kind of thing. Because a lot of people, my mother-in-law and my father-in-law both, we tried to pull some cheese when I went with them to the Beaumont situation. They got that Moderna poke, and they both tried to pull some cheese. They said to come back at 5:30, and there's a lot of hoops. I think kind of like what you and BV did, we're just kind of like, I'm just going to poke around, see what I can see is kind of the way to do it.
And eventually on my chart it popped up. So out of the people we know, right? Heather's vaccinated. Michelle's vaccinated.
Yep.
Your in-laws are vaccinated. My in-laws are vaccinated.
Yeah.
Our father's vaccinated. Same thing with Kim. She's vaccinated.
Yep.
So a lot of us around her. So we should be good to go. They were saying
The only one
today-
who's not is me.
Ironically, the guy that was going to volunteer for testing groups
What the fuck?
can't get it.
What is this?
They don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah, I mean, really.
The one time there's an advantage to having the beatus.
You're like, what is happening right now?
Yeah,
like,
you
I
get
can't get no
nothing.
love. Like,
I
it's
say
so
good day,
weird.
sir. You and Wiggs will be waiting for a
So
long time.
crazy.
So there you go. A little look at the vaccine updates and stuff like that. Also, today is a big day, big day, and Charles is going to cover the old movies here shortly. But today is the release of Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yeah. Big
Made $120 million overseas in the
Did it
theaters.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So theaters slowly
Now,
creep
are
back
you
up there.
going to talk about did you go and see that movie in the theater?
Yes, I did see it in
Oh,
the theater.
okay, good.
That's
So
the
we
only
get
place
another
to see it.
experience of it.
Yeah. So there we go. So first up this week, a lot of people, especially Michigan fans, are always convinced referees have it out for them. The referee, it was fixed. It was that. Well, ironically, in the NHL, there was a referee that had it out for a team, and he caught on. Did you see this?
Yeah, I
caught
saw
on the
it,
mic.
yeah.
So a referee on the NHL, it was ironically a Red Wings Nashville game, said he wanted to penalize Nashville for anything because he wanted to get him back or so, regardless. or
Weird,
something.
like vendetta type.
Yeah,
stuff,
so he's now unemployed.
Yeah, wow.
So not the smartest move on his part. So all of you out there that feel that the refs are screwing your team, there might have been a chance of it.
Everyone in Ann Arbor is going, I told you, dude.
Yeah, I know. Except for last night. They didn't, we'll cover that later, too.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a little look at that. So if you ever thought refs are cheating you, they might be. All right, next up, now it's that time of year, right? A lot of pro days. And now, Bill, you remember this. This is kind of funny. This is a little sidetrack, but back in the day, me and Bill used to sit around while we're watching regular football, and we go, two things we used to always think of. One would be if wrestling was a super league that had all of them in one and how awesome it would be.
Yeah.
Boy, were we wrong on that one.
How'd that work out for you?
And the other one, I don't know if Bill remembers this. We used to think it'd be so cool if there was a network that would show the combines
Yeah.
and all that. And then it finally happened on NFL Network, and I watched 20 minutes of it. I was bored out of my mind.
And you realize why they don't do it.
Yes. You remember that, Bill?
Yeah. I used to watch the entire NFL draft, but I couldn't get through more than about an hour of the combine.
Yeah. It was just so
I would
bad.
watch. Do they show the benching, the 225, and how many reps they get in on that? Every time I tune in, they're doing the high jump and the 40.
Yeah, that's all they ever show.
The problem is there's a lot of downtime. It's like, oh, my God.
And then it's all Rich Eisen.
Yeah, it's a lot of,
like
just filibustering.
You just have, like, receivers going out for, quarterbacks going out to receivers or doing these little,
the
agility
4-box
catch
drill.
drills.
Yeah. It's rough.
That doesn't prove that you don't always need what you wish for.
Yeah,
that is somewhat of a thing. So in that same vein, a lot of
I think it's more of a highlight thing. Like it's probably kind of like a NASCAR event. You just do it for the highlights.
Just show me 20 minutes of the best guys. That's all I need to
show me
see.
the wrecks. I'll let you know.
So along with the combines is pro days. That's another one. I think a lot of actually combines are dying down a little bit, and it's more pro days now. Like each major school has a pro day, and the one up until today everyone was talking about was Mac Jones for Alabama. Not because he was so skillful and looked so awesome. It's because everyone thought he had a dad bod, and that he was out of shape running his plays.
I gotta tell you, I would normally bag on that person, but Tom Brady still looks like
that was everyone.
Oh, okay.
So online, the defender said, "Well, look at Tom Brady,"
and
then the other people were like, "Whatever, he's a pro athlete. He's out of breath running."
No, I agree. It's not a good look, but at the same time, if you can still fling that rock,
I mean, Peyton Manning didn't look like a ripped monster either. Neither did Phillip Rivers or Dan Marino.
Oh, did you just give Phillip Rivers props on the show? BB, write this date
down.
No,
I said he didn't look like a ripped monster. But anyways, I just thought it was funny. That was one of those ones that came out that Mac Jones had a dad bod. He was out of shape when he was running his pro day. So, and then it was 50-50 online of how much they hated him, how much they liked him. Now, before the draft, there's a big trade that happened this week as far as the NFL draft goes, because that's really the only draft.
Jimmy G, right?
Yeah. Well, he didn't get traded, but they traded a lot of picks around.
Okay.
So the Niners moved from I think the 12th in the first round all the way down to 3.
Okay.
So that tells you they probably want a quarterback of some sort. Maybe
a couple teams came out and confirmed that that's what they're doing.
Yeah,
so,
maybe they want dad bod.
I think the Niners did too.
Yeah, and then the Dolphins they received a whole bunch of picks from the Niners, and they moved to 12th, but then they traded up with the Eagles. So basically, the Niners, the Dolphins, and the Eagles had a whole bunch of first round trades. So it ends up with the Niners at the 3rd pick, Dolphins with the 6th pick, and the Eagles with the 12th pick. Eagles did have the 6th going in, but now they're 12th, but they got more picks later on. Some shit like that.
It's hard to keep track.
No real players. It was all just draft picks.
Okay.
Niners gave up a lot, though, because they gave up their first round pick next year also.
But obviously they're trying to fill in some kind of void they feel
they want one of them quarterbacks. Yeah, so that was the big news earlier in the week. And then also earlier in the week, when I did the notes, it wasn't official, but it is official now.
Yeah.
The NFL is expanding to 17 regular season games and removing one of the preseason games. Thoughts on this, Bill? Do you like this or no?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Does one game? Maybe it does. I don't know. I'm kind of torn on this because it seems that half the league has a hard enough time staying healthy during the current season. So adding another game that matters might be a bit of an issue, but I mean, whatever makes the most money, right? I mean, that's what they care about. So
I am under the influence ever since Monday Night Raw went to 3 hours and WrestleMania went to 2 days.
Less content.
Less is more. Yeah. So I don't know. And a lot of people also stated.
But to play devil's advocate, though, let me play devil's advocate here. Those preseason games are so utterly pointless. At some point, because everyone keeps going, well, you don't get these people hurt and all. What are we doing with the preseason stuff? You can evaluate them in all your camps and all this stuff. Anyone who buys tickets to a preseason game, and then why do the owners like preseason games on top of it? Because they get to sell the rights to as they want to local channels and all that kind of stuff. The same TV deal doesn't apply to preseason.
Also, they make a lot of the season ticket holders buy the preseason.
Yeah, it's bullshit. There's a
part of the fact. Yeah, so that's all kind of shit. And someone brought up too that so now the teams are out of it by week 15 or game 15.
Yeah.
Those last 2 games of the season are going to be trash.
Yeah.
You're going to get 1 or 2 good games. The rest is going to be trash.
Well, I told Steve, so I knew that they had approved it because the Steelers sent me something about how they scheduled the Seahawks for that 17th game. So I knew that there was a 17th game. As soon as that happened, they must have had that schedule already ready to implement. So.
They said that last game is going to be co-conference, and you're going to play a team that's. So if you're like second in the playoff run, you're going to play another team that's second from the year prior.
Okay.
So you're supposed to get good matchups that last.
Well,
week.
I mean, I like the way that they pushed for the divisional stuff at the end of the year. I think that's a brilliant move. I think that could you imagine trying to like make a schedule for this? They must have full
computer
teams.
algorithms at this
Well,
point.
they must have like full, but then you still like they schedule students at Heather's school and stuff like that. But there's still mistakes. You know what I mean? Like they're still not going to take into account travel and
now. Pat McAfee, again, great podcast.
Yeah.
He came up with, so the week before the playoffs, the one game that's really important to make the playoffs, moved that to Europe, and that'd be the European play-in game. So you got the European play-in game, then wild card weekend, and then it was pretty funny. He had it all laid out. He goes, we may not play the Super Bowl till April, but that's just not
what
the
does
point.
that mean for contracts and stuff like that? Does anyone have any clue on the implication of like salaries and stuff like
Pat
that?
McAfee didn't know. No one knew.
Oh, okay.
But it's another game check, so it's more money.
So they just average out the rest of your check, is what you're saying? I don't know how that works.
I don't think it's more money. I think it just means that your salary gets allocated over 17 game checks instead of 16 game checks.
Yeah, so then it's weird. It's a sticky situation. It's very gray area, and I'll be curious going forward. But I often get, and I think I'm with you guys. One of my issues with a lot of the other sports is the seasons are too long. And I'm not saying that 17 games is definitely the same thing, because it's not. But all I'm saying is it's a slippery slope. Again, what is the end game? Do we end up at like 20 games a few years from now, and a couple of them are European played and all this kind of stuff? Like, I'm just saying, like, at some point, the best part of the NFL product to me...
It was an event every weekend.
Yeah, it's a
and
tight
they're ruining
schedule.
that a little bit now, because that event starts on Thursdays, some on Saturdays,
it's hard.
some on Sundays,
It's very
some on
hard
Monday.
to find. Yeah.
So that event feel of an NFL game is slowly slipping away. And
I would agree.
Where an NBA game's not really an event because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
Same baseball. The only thing
I lost 20 in a row, and I'm still in the card of the pennant
opening
race.
day.
Yeah.
It feels like an event for baseball.
Yeah.
If
But
you're
the
into
problem
the
with that
town.
is these northern teams, though, you're freezing your ass off.
Yeah, this is gonna be super cold tomorrow for the Tigers.
It's crazy.
So, but opening day is the only real event. That, I guess you could say the All-Star game. I guess the baseball All-Star game is still kind of a big thing.
Yeah,
But for me, it used to be. I don't know if
you
it's
get that
still
home
is.
run thing going.
Yeah,
and
but
stuff,
it's
juicing
not
that
really.
ball.
Most All-Star games, nobody gives a shit. But
Hey, going around, have any of you guys? I've never been to an opening day baseball game. Have you guys? Either of you guys been? No. BB, have you?
Not in person, no.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I always end up at a bar of Randy.
Yeah, is that what it is? Yeah.
This year I won't be there, so I don't have to work. He has to go by himself. So, all right. So that's going to do it. A little wrap up of some early news. Of course, we always like to touch on the NFL and Mac Jones' dad bod. So you got that going for us. And Charles, let us show them the taste treat we have scheduled for the day.
So the first one will get BV involved in it. I got these. Steve picked these up. These are the seasonal Cotton Candy Twinkies.
For the record,
I'll kick it over here on the
cotton
main.
candy.
I hate Twinkies, honestly.
Really, a regular Twinkie? I mean, I'm not a huge fan, but if there's one,
There's so many better little cakey things.
Oh, yeah,
than
of course.
Twinkies, all I'm
It's
trying
very
to
low on
say.
the list.
I'd rather have like an orange cupcake or something like that. Oh, I love an orange cupcake.
And those little titties that taste like coconut. I don't like
I
those
don't like
either.
those. Snowballs are terrible.
I hate snowballs.
BB, what's your cake du jour? What do you got?
I don't know, but I certainly could take or leave
A Twinkie?
this.
Yeah.
Twinkies.
BB's
Well,
not
one
The
of my
only thing really
favorites-
appealing about them is that I guess is they're supposed to be able to last forever.
Oh, great. Yeah,
And
they're
the
shelf
package, I think,
stable
is
for 10 years.
Survive nuclear holocaust. or
So put
whatever.
these downstairs in your emergency pack, BB.
Yeah, I don't. There's not much.
Well,
much
the
to-
usual conversation on the show, Steve, take us through the nutritional label once you get that. Like, kick me one on hand and go through the nutritional
Well, the
label.
good news is these
It's
aren't
one of
very
our
big.
favorite things to do on this show is to go through a nutritional label.
Wow, there is a shit ton of sugar.
Shocking.
It says total sugar is 32 grams, but then it says includes 31 grams of added sugar. I don't know
What does that mean?
I
Is
think
that
it's
63
total-
as a
I
total?
think it's total 32 grams. They added 31 grams on top of what is already in the ingredients.
So there's 63 altogether?
No, I think it's 32 altogether.
Oh, okay.
They're just saying.
Oh, did yours, the filling on the bottom just like seeping out of the thing and rubbing up against the plastic?
Yeah, that's all Twinkies do that.
Yeah.
But you know what I like besides the fruit pies? Those are delicious. But I like a Swiss roll.
Do you like a Swiss roll?
Yeah,
The Little
like
Debbie
those.
though. That's a Little Debbie treat.
Yeah, Little Debbie. Sorry.
I like the little muffins.
Swiss cake was good.
What do you got, BB? You like that? You BB?
I like the Swiss cake was, yeah. This is not very good.
This is super sweet, boy. This is the sweetest thing I've eaten in a long time.
Not.
It wouldn't be bad if it wasn't cotton candy. Cotton candy's the worst.
That boy's sweet, dude. That is like sugar overload. BD's making a face. Let me cut the BD.
I agree with Bill's face right now.
Not good.
That almost is like obnoxiously sweet.
I would like to just scoop the filling out and then eat the cake. The filling is the grossest part.
That is.
It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it's still not good.
It was a lot worse than I thought it was going to be.
They have other spring ones, too. There's like a vanilla cupcake with a purple. They had like 3 different ones, but this was the grossest. So I went with this one.
Well, mission accomplished because it lives up to its billing. Oh, that's gross. So going around the room, Steve, Cotton Candy Twinkies, where are you at? Got you on your camera there. Yeah, you're on your cam. What do you think? Yes or no?
No.
BB. You got wait. Yeah, got to give it an out of 10. Our usual rating scale.
2.
2 out of 10 for Steve. We got to average it out. BB, what do you got?
This is just straight trash. It's just sweet. The flavor is garbage. The cake didn't even taste good. I'm giving this thing like a 0.5.
So we're up to 2.5
this
out
might
of
be
20.
the worst snack cake I've ever had.
Bill wants to give it a negative.
I'm going to be honest. It needs a sprinkle or some kind of texture. Just very mushy sugar is all it is. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Not terrible. It's edible. I'm just saying.
The cotton candy flavor is the worst. Now, actually, these stats are for 2 cakes, so we only need 1 cake.
Okay, so let's cut that in half.
Yeah, so that's not
16.
16 grams
okay.
of sugar.
Nonetheless, it's a sugar bomb in that face,
I
boy.
don't know about the rest of you, but there won't be a second one for me.
BB's out.
Michelle will love them.
Yeah, so, and then I kind of audible to these. I picked these up. I had the Swedish fish version of this. BB, I know you're OG Swedish fish.
Yes.
I know you are.
He loves them.
Swedish fish.
So, Smart Sweets. They're made, I think they're sweetened with like monk fruit or something.
With what?
Monk fruit's a big sweetener that they use. It's not. And so these are, I basically found these other 2. So I already had, full disclosure, I had the Swedish fish version of that. They're only 100 calories for the whole pack of these
0
things.
added sugars and 10 grams of fiber. You don't see that very often in candy.
So
Where'd you
these
pick
are,
them up
I got these at Kroger, but the Swedish fish I found at,
they're individually wrapped.
yeah, those are supposed to be like Starburst equivalent. So Steve's got the Starburst equivalent. I have the Sour Patch Kid equivalent. I was really impressed by these the first time I had
They
them.
smell good.
Yeah.
They smell very fruity.
They got a little
Yeah.
more chew to them than your average.
I've
But I
heard
gotta
real
tell
good
you.
things about them.
Just like the first one. These Smart Sweets are top notch, man. I don't know what's going on, what kind of weird wizardry they're using on these. The only thing of note, whatever they're using, super expensive. This pack is $3 a piece.
Wow.
So yeah, it's not cheap. But if you got that, if you're someone like BV and Steve who got that sugar issues,
Take one home to Michelle.
and you got those, and you got a sweet tooth or something, try these.
Yeah. I was just looking online here. They've got a 7-count variety pack on Amazon for $26.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, let me hit that Starburst. I'm a big fan of these Smart Sweet products. What do you think of that Starburst? What do you think of that?
That's good.
It's not exactly the same. I mean, nothing ever is good.
No, of course. But I like Starburst better than but I just don't like.
You don't like Sour Patch Kids and stuff
Never
like
did.
that. But
Everyone wants some Blue Moon.
super impressive product. I don't know what the heck they're doing, what kind of chemicals this shit's made out of, but like,
Yeah, I give these the Starburst one's an 8. The Sour Patch Kids a 7. I'm not a big, but Low sugar stuff has come so far since we were kids.
Yeah.
I mean, zero sugar stuff when we were kids tastes like cardboard. It was just terrible.
Well, you've got the two camps. You've got the people that have medical issues, and then you also have the people who are just super conscious of sugar input. And that's basically, so if you can find something that, and I think these fit the bill, if you can find something that people can kind of discover and enjoy, and they kind of scratch that itch without hitting those two markers for those people, you could probably sell the gangbusters out of this shit.
Not bad. I like it.
What are you giving it?
I give it 8 to the Starburst, 7 to the Sour Patch. That's just because I'm not a big Sour Patch Kid fan. So,
see, I'm exactly the opposite. I like the Sour Patch Kids equivalent a little bit more. I actually give those Sour Patches like a 9.
I'll tell you, over the weekend,
And like a 7 for the Starburst.
we went to Dad's house for his birthday, and he had a sugar-free 5-berry pie from Ackett's Bakery.
From what bakery?
Ackett's. It's in Sterling Heights. ACTAZ or something like that. Michelle goes there all the time. She loves
I don't think
it.
I've ever heard of it.
They're in Sterling Heights, so they're not close.
Why am I out there? Yeah.
Let me tell you, this pie was fucking disgusting.
Was it really?
Terrible.
I thought you were going to give me some pro tips.
Oh my god, it was so tart. I was like, it's like they literally just made it out of cranberries or something. I was like, this is, and Dad just sitting there eating like it's normal. I'm looking at him. Like,
There's
this
no
is
sweetness.
terrible.
So that's how they got the sugar down, and they didn't add any.
Oh my god, he said they sweetened it with fruit juice. Yeah, what, prune? This is terrible. So do not eat the sugar-free pies at Ackett's Bakery. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know
It's terrible. They have a great French silk pie. Michelle gets
There's
it all
no
the time.
way it's freaking sugar-free.
No. I'm telling you, they have regular pies besides the sugar-free stuff. They're known for pies, but that's
I'm not a pie person. We've had this conversation.
man, I
on
love
this
a good
show.
pie.
No, I think
Especially
I'm a
hair
cake
pie.
person. Whoa, Jesus.
Sorry, did I say that out loud? Sorry.
But anyway, Smart Sweets, big thumbs up. Super low in calorie too.
So there's a guy on my Facebook named Frank Barbie. I went to school with him. More of an acquaintance than anything, not really a friend. But he had, and he posted it, a drink out of Rock's new energy drink.
Oh, he finally got one?
He said it was terrible.
Oh, really? That's the Zoa or whatever
Yeah, he
it's
goes,
called?
I love you, Rock, but this stuff tastes like crap.
Oh, really?
He had the zero sugar one, too. That's what
Where'd
had.
he pick it up at?
I didn't ask him.
Oh.
I'll ask him next
Yeah,
time.
ask him when you see him.
I don't know if he paid the $30 off Amazon or wherever it was. Did you see that, Bill? Like, you can get a case of Rock's new drinks. We were like, we should get them for the show. They're $30 for like 12 of them.
It's called Zoa or something.
Yeah, ZOA or some shit like that.
BB's not into it.
Well, no, I'm not really into. No, well, it depends because I normally don't drink those energy drinks because they have stimulants in them and it's not good for
Your brain?
people that. Well, not just that, but if you're one like me that's been on blood pressure medication for a long time, stimulants are not good. So
Yeah, I don't do it either. I don't do any of those. Never been my thing, actually. Even before I had blood pressure issues.
Energy drinks just taste like ass. I've never had an energy drink and thought, that tastes really good.
I tried Red Bull once and it was disgusting.
Yeah, I
Very
hated it.
acidic. Very acidic.
I didn't like Red Bull. I tried a couple drinks of Monster. I thought that was terrible. I thought the 5-hour energy little capsule things were gross too. I was like, I don't get this stuff.
But we definitely drink our share of Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
So
Mountain Dew,
that's-
Diet Coke. Yeah, pretty
Still
much.
drinking that zero sugar everything. I just polish up more major melon. It's not sake. I love it.
All
Have
right.
you seen that they have that zero sugar Dr. Pepper out now that's supposed to taste exactly like regular Dr. Pepper?
I'll let you know. I'll see if I can find it, and I'll try it. I'll try it.
I got taste test for next week.
I
Zero
do,
sugar
I
Dr.
do
Pepper
zero
for
sugar
everyone.
everything. And
We had 5 different zero sugars. for
I
everybody.
think it's either Meijer or Target is the place
I
that's supposed to have it.
I have not seen that. There's also supposed to be a Peeps Pepsi. I looked for it. I
Peeps
couldn't
Pepsi?
find it. Yeah, a Peep flavored Pepsi. I would just get one bottle and bring it in here. We can just pour it in a little glass. That is supposed to be happening. I don't know where, though. I did look for it at Target. They did not have it. So, all right, Charles, let's go into some reviews this week. And as you said earlier, I went back to the theater.
Yeah. Where did we go see this one at?
This
Cinemark?
was Cinemark in Southland. Went to a 12:30 a.m. 12:30 p.m. show. It's in the afternoon. It was about an hour and a half long. I saw the movie Nobody with Bob Odenkirk from Better Call Saul. Also, Christopher Lloyd makes an appearance in this movie. That was about the only two you're going to recognize. Everybody else, there's one guy from the Wu-Tang Clan too.
How many people are in the theater with you?
About 10. We did count. I was curious. And so 10 people all total at the theater. It was 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, 10 to 12, somewhere in there. Not packed, but it was a matinee, so I don't know what happens later at night. Of course, no two rows to the right, no one's near you, so that was great. So the theater experience was great. The people were extra nice. Maybe they're just happy to see somebody. I was like wearing my Mandalorian shirt. The kids were like, "That's a good show." They start talking. I was like, "Oh, okay." Do you like the John Wick movies?
I enjoy the John Wick movies. I'm not as amazed by them as a lot of people are, but then again, I'm an OG Asian cinema guy. I've seen a lot of those tricks that they do many times ago, but I like the John Wick movies. I'm not in love with them like a lot of people are.
Okay, then if you like those, this movie is essentially like one of them, but a little slower. So they take the time to establish a story a lot. Remember John Wick, his dog's dead. He's
basically, yeah.
This is a little slower. They establish his life, his mundane life, what he's doing, blah, 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 and a series of events. He's obviously not a mundane dad. He's actually used to be somebody back in the day. And you've seen the storyline a billion times, but being a Neanderthal like I am, I love that storyline. And now let's kill some bad guys.
I don't know, but I guess does it bring a quirk that it's Bob Odenkirk?
Yes,
doing
that's what's the quirky
okay.
about it. And he's not like The Rock's going to take on 50 dudes and might have one scratch on his eye.
Okay.
Bob Odenkirk is his ass kicked.
Yeah, okay.
He gets in the first fight, he's on a bus. He's taking out 5 guys. He gets stabbed, punched, thrown through a bus window.
So that's the move here. Is he's an everyman that can still take a thumper or whatever.
Yeah, he's almost like the Mick Foley of action heroes. He takes a pretty solid beating, but still ends up winning. But he gets his ass kicked pretty good. And then Christopher Lloyd's his retired father in a group home and stuff, and he ends up in the action near the end.
How's Christopher Lloyd look at this?
He looks like he's 100.
Yeah, I was going to say Christopher Lloyd's longer tooth in the
'80s. He's got. That's one thing we get to look forward to when we get older. How long our ears are going to get.
The more weight I lose, the bigger my ears get.
Yeah, because we were saying it at the theater, like Christopher Lloyd's ears were like this long. Yeah. They're like they could have been in a carnival.
No doubt, I'm going to have huge ears.
But this is a very enjoyable movie. Bob Odenkirk is always a pretty solid actor. I like him in Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. I like him in pretty much everything I've seen him in. Like I said, it's essentially the Incredibles, right? The dad wants to still be a superhero, but he's an insurance salesman. It's the same kind of thing. It's uber violent, though. It's rated R for a reason. It's the other thing I was bring up. It's the Russian mafia again ends up being the villains. In every action movie, there's a Russian. How many Russian mafias are there in the United States?
I mean, I don't know. I can't answer that because if you know the answer, that they're looking for you.
Yeah, that's true. As soon as you Google it, they're like, we're coming to get you. Because it's like every action movie, they're fighting Russian mafia. Very good movie. A lot of good action. Good chase scene in the car. A lot of gunfights, hand fights. I give it an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed the movie.
That's good.
Only an hour and a half, so it didn't hang around too long. You didn't get too bored with it.
Did they leave it open-ended like a John Wick type movie for more to come kind of thing?
Yeah, like he gets a phone call at the very end.
Okay.
And then also Christopher Lloyd's taking a road trip with his brother. He has a brother and an adopted brother. And they have like all these guns in the back of this van and stuff. So there's more comedy in this than John Wick also. So
it's a little more lighthearted.
Yeah. Bill, are you interested to see it? I know you like Better Call Saul. Any interest from you?
Well, I've actually seen a couple of the little trailers for it now, including I think that one scene is that the bus scene where he kind of walks on. And
that's like one of the first major
scenes. He's going to fuck him up, and there's like 5. Yeah.
Yeah. He gets his ass kicked.
Yeah. It looks interesting enough to watch. I mean, I'm not going to go. Well, I'm not going to a theater at all, but
no theater.
There's no point.
How dare you?
I'll see it. I'll wait for it to hit, HBO or something like that.
I love Bill's backhanded stabs. There's no point. You fucker. He's let him check his email.
I just cut to him.
Motherfuckers are checking his email. Yeah, so I thought it was pretty good. I liked it a lot. Did not regret that one bit. Now we'll go on to the next show where I did regret. The Crew on Netflix with Kevin James. It's one of those ones. It was Saturday.
Well, hold on. Who else of note is in this? It can't just be Kevin James.
Nobody. I don't.
There's no one else in it you recognize from any other show.
One guy from Sons of Anarchy.
Which one?
Curly-haired guy, dark hair. He was one of the
Tig.
Tig.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. He plays one of the sponsors. He's only in one episode.
Oh wow.
And then there's this older guy who always played a villain in a lot of movies. He's a pudgier guy. He's got
kind of a
hair.
character actor.
Yeah, you'll recognize him.
Okay.
And he's
That's
like
it?
He's the owner, and he retires at the first episode. You don't see him. There's 10 episodes, 25 minutes each. Okay. I put it on.
It's
just left
legit
it on.
sitcom. It's legit. Yeah.
As you watch it, I'll give you some credit on a couple things. One, it's better than the Big Show. It's better than Fluffy Show.
Again, I would like to take a moment and say that is not setting the bar very high because that show is unwatchable.
Yeah, that is the best. It's got a unique setting. It's not your typical family setting in a house.
Yeah, but okay.
It's
but
at a NASCAR crew.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of like Titus. Like, remember the show Titus with Stacey Keach? Is that kind of?
It's not as good as Titus.
Oh man, Titus is a good show.
Yeah. Well, Titus had a good supporting cast.
Yeah.
And Kevin James, as you watch, you realize that guy's still funny, and he's still
he's in some suck though. You're like, dude, come on.
I like him.
Yeah,
and he's funny.
Oh.
And he's got some good lines and good reactions and good timing.
Yeah, and his ability. He also can get very physical too.
Like,
I like Kevin
He comes
James.
with an eye patch or whatever.
Yeah.
So he ran into a forklift,
Yeah,
but he said he got to fight with an eagle or something. So he's still funny. It's just his supporting cast is terrible. I don't know where they got these people. They're the most unfunny.
So basically, again, we talk about budgets. So Netflix blew the budget on Kevin James.
Yes.
Had no ability to flush out his characters.
Yeah, the supporting actors are terrible in
Wow.
this. 10 episodes.
Is it set like in the shop of a
So
like
he's
a
the pit
NASCAR
crew.
Yeah,
Pit
he's the guy with the
crew leader
headset or
whatever,
whatever. Yeah.
So everyone comes
Crew
to him
chief.
for the crew chief.
Yeah, there you
so
go.
there's a head mechanic. He's a little funny. He's an older black guy. He wants to stay off the grid. He's kind of funny. Okay. He's okay. And then there's a guy who's like a computer analyst. He's not funny at all. There's the driver, but he's like this hot dude who's like really stupid.
Okay.
And then there's the new owner, who the old owner retired, and the new owner is his young daughter that wants to change everything. And of course, her and Kevin are conflicting on it. And then there's a female office manager, and that's pretty much the whole crew. And it's just they're not funny. I wish they would. If they could have had a Patton Oswalt on this, or Deacon, or if they got that
Lou
crew,
Ferrigno. What are you talking about?
If he had that cast here, it'd probably be a really good show. And there is some very bad canned studio on its laughter over and over.
That's a Netflix, that's a thing with Netflix. They just sometimes they get so corny with their sitcoms. It's like, dude, you don't got to be this corny.
Yeah, they should. They got if they could. It looks they leave it open ended at the end for maybe a second season, which I don't know. They need to recast a lot of the supporting actors.
It needs work, huh?
Yeah, it really does. So it's a 4 out of 10. He only gets the 4 because of Kevin James and the unique setting. Because you do get sick of seeing sitcoms at a person's house all the time.
Yeah.
So at least it's something different there. But yeah, so 4 out of 10 for that one. Now, Charles, you were trying to catch up with Godzilla and King Kong before the new one come out. What did you think?
So if anyone has listened to this show, and we're in episode, 142 at this point, probably 85 of them have talked. Steve has talked at length about his love of bad rubber Godzilla movies. I don't know how. Somehow we grew up in the same household yet. I don't remember Steve's affinity towards fucking Godzilla movies.
How'd you end up a fan? Dashboard Confessional.
I don't know.
Papaw never cranked that.
Life happens, and Steve loved rubber dinosaur movies.
God damn it.
And so Steve had on. I was going to check him out before. I wanted to do all the background before we get into Godzilla vs. Kong, as we're going to probably talk about next Tuesday at length. I'm assuming we'll both have it all caught up, and we'll have a big conversation at that point because it just came out today. So Steve had the ability. I was trying to catch up on Godzilla 1 and 2. I've already seen Kong Island, which I really enjoyed.
Skull Island, I think.
Or Skull Island. I can call it Kong Island. I can't throw you off. Yeah, I don't know why. But I enjoyed Skull Island. I think Skull Island was great. But it was also made after the first Godzilla movie, right? So it went Godzilla, Skull Island, second Godzilla. Okay. So I went back and watched in 2014. Steve had it on his Vudu. It wasn't the one with P. Diddy, BV. I'm sorry to disappoint you.
No P. Diddy.
There was no P. Diddy. There was no Robert Plant. There was no Jimmy
No Matthew
Page.
Partridge.
Yeah, there was none of that. I don't know why. I kept looking.
Godzilla.
Yeah, there was none of it, BB. We were super annoyed. I don't know what's going on.
He's still checking his email.
Oh, okay. So I watched 2014. They had Bryan Cranston and some other dude who I think the guy's a name that played his son. Does that guy go on to do other things? The guy that played his son in that 2014 Godzilla?
Mm-hmm.
Is he?
He's in Kick-Ass.
Yeah, he's in a.
He's in a lot. He's got a weird name. It's like Aaron Taylor Thomas. Or
Whatever.
something.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas from Home Improvement's in it. JTT. Okay, so the first one was good, but my issue was on the first one. This is the 2014 Godzilla. The first one, they didn't. I talked to Steve pre-show. They didn't have the budget to show you a bunch of the monsters. This was kind of as the Godzilla stuff came back into the forefront. You could see that the studio was trepidatious about like bringing back a modern.
Because the 1998 movie sucked so bad.
You're blaming Matthew Broderick for this? Okay, great.
It tanked so bad that they were nervous about Godzilla.
But
in fairness, that was a bad movie.
First of all, it has an amazing soundtrack, and we'll play it at the end of the show. Come with me. Anyway, I cannot do it. Anyway, so the first one was good, but I said it built up to the monsters, but it very tickled your ass with a feather with the monsters. Very little. Yeah, I was like, can I get... Steve looked it up. It had 9 minutes and 30 seconds of a 2-hour movie with actual monsters on screen, BB. Yeah. So we're talking about, 10% of the whole movie?
Yeah.
Awful.
But they built suspense.
Nonetheless, not bad. It really wasn't... It's okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's a solid 6 out of 10. Steve would probably give it a lot higher, probably an 8 or something.
Yeah,
I'm
at least
sure.
11.
Yeah, 11 out of 10 for Steve. When you love a rubber dinosaur, it's gonna be.
First off, he's not a dinosaur.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's a force of nature.
Yeah, well, yeah. What do they
say
call
that
them?
in the movie.
So they do a good
They
job.
call them kaijus.
Yeah, but
That's Japanese for giant monster, by the way.
Well, so then they...
Mike Rosetta Stone's already paying off.
And look at that, man.
I do that before I took the Rosetta Stone.
So then I go into the second one. Now, first of all, I got to admit, Coach Taylor from Friday Night Lights is in the second one. That gives it 2 points.
Oh, 2 points.
2 points for Coach Taylor. Anytime Coach Taylor's in it, I give you 2 points. Then
no one gives a shit about that guy but you.
Yeah,
and maybe Bill because he thinks it's funny.
I've never even seen Friday Night Lights. I don't know who you're talking about.
You're not missing much.
It's still funny.
Okay, so Coach Taylor gives it a 2. But then he goes on to be just the most generic act. The first one establishes like this universe, but he fought the most generic, lame monsters or whatever. Kaijus. The most lame kaijus in that first one. The second one, they bring out like a bunch of these new monsters because they got more budget and like it seems to be proven. But then they kind of just have like this generic wrapper to it. I don't know how else to describe it. I don't know if you have an opinion, Steve, but like the second one just missed the mark for me.
Yeah. Well, those monsters in the second one aren't new.
No, I know, but they're in that universe, is what I'm trying to say. But they had better budget. They kept bringing more out.
Yeah. They did a weird thing where they did like this weather effect every time they fought. Like the big 3-headed monster.
Yeah.
He had like a weather effect. And I don't know why they did that.
Well, because they were in Antarctica when they released him or whatever.
Yeah, so.
A lot of the way too much auditory stuff. And I get what that was
weird. I felt it was weird that all the humans are flying around on this like stealth bomber all over the place, like right next to the monsters.
Like weird Avengers type thing.
Yeah, it's like, get in the X-Wing. Let's go.
I don't know, man, but that second one to me...
And Millie Bobby Brown's in it, and she's automatically brings everything down. Because I hate that actress.
Wow. That's the bald chick from Stranger Things.
Yeah,
they shoehorn into everything.
Yeah.
So, to me, like, the second one is a huge step back from the first one. I'm not all the way through, full disclosure. I'm about half hour left or 40 minutes left of that second one. Mm-hmm. But I'm not aching to get back into that. I would definitely recommend Skull Island before either of these two movies. But I would go Skull Island first, Godzilla second Godzilla. Yeah. I think Steve would too.
The second Godzilla, I think, didn't have a good director. The first Godzilla, you could tell it's a good director, but he didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of beautiful shots.
He did the best he could.
Especially when they're coming out of the plane with the smoke. That looked good.
Oh, yeah.
Or even when you just saw Godzilla's tail. I was texting back and forth with you as a goof, but it is kind of true. He did build suspense a little better.
Okay, so they said basically you don't have a huge budget for the CG rubber dinosaur. So then he had to
how dare you?
He had to use a lot of film tricks, is what you're saying,
yes,
Steve. So you're saying he had the wherewithal as a director to kind of use those tricks, and I get that.
And I think it's a different director for the second one So
the second one just made like a generic action.
Yeah, if you had the same director with a bigger budget, I think you would have had a much better movie in the second one, which I think they
I'd give like the second one. So the first one I'd give a 6, a solid 6 to, and it's a solid 6, admittedly, even though Skull Island's like an 8. Skull Island's a good movie.
Yeah, Skull Island's good.
It's like 8, and then I would probably give the second one a 4 then to keep it in line, and then I will definitely watch the newest one, although it's kind of lukewarm online. It's only getting like 7s out of 10.
We do have one early review. Gabe Wington's already watched it.
What did he think?
He said he'd give it a 7 or an 8.
Okay, so that seemed to be the case. Yeah, okay. So that's probably, he's in line with what I read. So, yeah, I and like I said, watch the first one. I think the first one, the only problem with the first one, there's a lot of weird things because they let the dude with the Navy just do whatever he wanted to. I was like, oh, okay.
You can tell he's a star. And then they kill Bryan Cranston off pretty quick.
Yeah, they only had so much budget with him.
Yeah, like we blew all the money on Cranston and half the fucking dinosaur.
Yeah.
Sorry, kaiju.
Yeah, so the thing is, I think that, and Steve's got love for it, and that's cool. That's what he's into or whatever. But like, I think that they're decent action movies. You are kind of looking for like The Rock and Rampage in them a little bit. Like for someone who always rips on these bad Rock movies, The Rock would fit right in these movies. You know that, right?
He is not high class as Godzilla.
I'm telling you, he'd fit right in. Did you love the Rampage movie?
No, I couldn't stand it.
It looks like it might fit in that universe.
No, it was a lot worse.
You'd like to think so.
No, I dare you. Do not make fun of my sacred. All right, so there you go. There's Charles's take. They call it the Monsterverse now. Which
is that what it is? Is that what it's called?
It's called Warner Brothers Monsterverse, which I thought that was for the Mummy and all them.
They were doing a good job. They had. So in the second Godzilla, they were trying to like make like a universe by like talking about Kong and talking. So that was kind of cool. Like if you're into that.
And then in this new one, now the Skull Island took place in the 70s. So now we're what? 50 years later.
Yeah.
So that's why he's bigger now. He's grown.
Oh, okay.
Because they even mentioned that in Skull Island. You probably don't remember that he's not fully grown yet. And so now you're getting Kong 50 years later. That's why he's bigger now and almost the size.
Yeah, because it was like a Nam era thing with Skull Island.
Yep.
That's a good movie. That's a really good movie. If you want to like a tour de force of like your flat screen and your surround sound, that's a good way to do it. Stuff like that.
All right, so now back in the fall, I talked about the Avengers game by Square Enix, and
that no one liked.
Yeah, it was very mediocre, very probably less than a Steve 6, a Steve 5. It was just kind of, and the sad thing about the game is there was some stuff there where it could have been great, right? But they repeated the same stages over and over, the same 5 robots over and over. So
so it was a basic comic book movie or a comic book video game, right?
Yeah. We're in God of War.
They're all like this.
Or even Tomb Raider. You're fighting some villains, but then you're doing some platforming, some adventuring, and then you might fight
puzzle solving.
Yeah, puzzle solving. They don't have any of that in this. It's just straight. You go here, you fight these robots. Go here, you
clear
fight
room,
these
clear room,
so
clear room.
They've released 2 DLCs for free on for the Avengers game. First up is Kate Bishop. Charles,
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, she's a newer character. She was basically Hawkeye's protege.
Okay.
Which I find this weird that both DLCs are essentially the same character. It's just one's Hawkeye, one's Kate Bishop. You're both archers, so okay. And her,
so they obviously had to add a range character, is what you're telling me?
Yeah, but 2 of the same kind. It made no sense, but whatever.
You have a weird heart on for a Hawkeye. You love Hawkeye.
I do. I have all his solo adventure comics.
Yeah, you do. You love.
I have the origin of Hawkeye. I don't care for Kate Bishop, but she's a newer character. Whatever. Marvel needs females. So her DLC is about 2 hours long. And hers is very bland because it's the same stages that you've already played in the other stages. You go there, fight new villains, or not even new villains, the same robots again. And there's a little bit of story in there, and it's okay. If I paid for it, I've been very depressed. I've been like, for free, fine. You do get one new robot at the very end. It's a mixture of like Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America in a robot form. I was like, that's unoriginal. But all right. And that's the end of her DLC, which then leads into Hawk. Now, Hawkeye's DLC is a little different. His goes around time travel, so you go into the future. And there's a big story called Future Imperfect in Marvel. Basically, the world goes to shit. It's an apocalypse, and the country's broken into 3 sections. Each section's run by a warlord. One's Kingpin. One's, I forget the other one. The other one's Evil Hulk. Actually, Hulk turns evil. So this DLC is that. You're going through there. But again, the stages are new, but you're still fighting the same robots. But at the end, you do get to fight Evil Hulk. So you get one new character and 2 DLCs.
Yeah,
both of them 2 hours,
but
2.5 hours
how is it any
long.
different than fighting the same blobbies for 4 hours?
It's not.
You're basically the same thing over and over again.
I mean, like I said, even God of War, you got new fight. You fought new things.
They would add and change.
Yeah, this,
I don't know.
nope.
Change up the
robots.
combination or something.
So this didn't really boost the overall score from 5 back then. It's still a 5, but you do get to see Evil Hulk and you do get Hawkeye. And it's all free.
2 big things for Steve, I know.
But it's. I can't recommend it. So there you go. The Avengers.
Well, at this
game,
point, though, can you get the Avengers game pretty cheap? I wonder.
I think so. It's been for like $20
cheap,
here and there. And of course, they still have microtransactions in it. So I can get Hawkeye. He looks like the
certain universe.
Yeah, if I want him to look like the comic book version I grew up on, it's like
$5.99.
$5.99 or something. It's like fuck you guys. So there you go. Avengers still sucking. The problem is it could have been a great game. It just wasn't.
I think that's the case for everyone's review on that. It seems like you wanted it to be great, but you just can't recommend it. It's like the universal review of that.
Yeah, it sucks so bad. So finally, Charles, on the last of the reviews, our show that we all like. Bill, you never did watch Superstore, did you?
No, I've never seen more than maybe about half an episode.
Yeah. So it ended, the big finale. It was 2 episodes. They brought Amy back. Mm-hmm. And at least they got... What did you think, Charles?
Well, I'll tell you this. So I think that here was my issue that I started out with on Superstore. I wanted Superstore to be The Office, and it's just not, because The Office is a great show. And they're, speaking of which, they're trying to cancel culture that for like his Asian references and stuff like that. They're going after the. You know, he made like all the cookie and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, they're going after The Office because of the Asian stuff.
A little late. It's already been replayed.
Dude,
and
I'm just
by
telling you. You just got
times.
got Dr. Seuss to stop producing certain books and stuff like that. Yeah, you might see like those weird disclaimers at the beginning of Office episodes and stuff. So anyway, I've come to love Superstore when I realize it's never going to be The Office. It's never going to be Parks and Rec. It is its own thing from a retail space, and it's got great characters. Mm-hmm. And I really grew to love this show. And I would openly admit the first season, I got super bummed because I wanted more of those 2 original shows, and it just never could do that. Mm-hmm. And like the minute I stopped realizing that, couldn't get enough of the show. Mm-hmm. Watch it nonstop, all this kind of stuff. And we talked about it a little bit the past few weeks because as it was kind of approaching, the America Ferrera, who is the biggest star who played Amy on the show, who was opposite of a guy named Jonah, who was like the Jim and Pam equivalent, left. But to me and Steve, we were both like, I don't see what the big drama. Like, kick her out. Let's keep going. The show's hilarious still. Like, they've got some of the best supporting characters in all of television.
See, that's what Kevin James needs.
Yeah, they really need whoever cast the Superstore rather needs to help out the crew on Netflix.
Yeah, they really do.
And the nice part about this one, so basically Zephra, who in the later episodes took on and bought Cloud9, which was a tech company that bought retail stores and all this kind of stuff and got it as part of an acquisition, eventually was going to close this down, and a bunch of the characters were going to but more than any other show, I'll tell you. So I watched the last show, and me and my wife both agreed. We loved it. They closed it out, and they actually had a proper finale, which was awesome. Like, you knew.
It doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah, it was almost a little weird and a little surreal that you got closure, which was weird. You know, I don't know what you thought.
Yeah, I agree with you. It had a really good ending. You got to see where each character ended up. The only other ending I think was this good was Breaking Bad. I don't know if you watched Breaking Bad.
I loved it all.
But it tied up all the end.
It left open the whole Walter White thing, though.
He's laying there dying. I mean, come on.
But people are still like, I don't know.
It had a good. I think Breaking Bad and this one had some of the best endings. Some of the worst endings is still The Sopranos.
What happened?
No one I know, like the ending of Seinfeld was pretty bad too.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was good. It was solid.
Yeah, it was great.
Someone online brought up a great point about this show: is they could have just left it running, and then just filter the characters out like as they leave for the
change
show.
in retail.
It's a superstore, so you're gonna get new crew in there all the time. I wish I could have seen that, but now here's the funny one: the spinoff show they were gonna do got canceled.
Yeah, which was supposed to be Cheyenne.
Bo and Cheyenne.
Yeah. He's funny.
I don't know if I like both.
I love that guy. I'm gonna open a laundromat. Like what? You know, with a commercial.
Someone suggested they should do Glenn's hardware stores.
Yeah,
that'd be a good one.
Steve, man, I'm telling you, the stuff with Garrett and Dina, you could still do the distribution center stuff too. I mean, I can keep going on how they can continue the show. Sounds like they don't want to do it, is the sad part. Yeah. But like, that show as a whole grew on me so much. It's a 9 out of 10 for me as far as a show. It's one of my, like I said, in that echelon, like top 10 shows. And it was a really quiet kind of show. Like not a lot of people talked about it.
Wasn't a lot of buzz.
Yeah, but me and you just you from jump kind of understood what it was. I took a while because I was just bitter, you know what I mean? But like I said, it's great, and that finale, man, that was good. It was good stuff.
Yeah, so I 9 out of 10 also for me. I like the show
as a series as a whole. Yeah.
Looks like they're going to push Young Rock into that spot. Maybe you watch Macho Man have sex with his girlfriend.
Dude, did you watch this? His love letter to the... Come on, man. His love letter to Andre the Giant, stuff like that.
I'll give you that episode.
Because it had a bunch of wrestlers. Admit that's your problem. You're a dick. Maybe
I
did you watch Young Rock this week?
I haven't seen this week.
Oh, okay. I did.
It's very wrestling heavy.
Yeah, it's wrestling heavy. So Steve's like, it's good this week. Fuck off.
It's good this week.
Yeah. Dude, this show's good,
Hey,
man.
you had a problem with Superstar 4th season. I got a problem with Young Rock in the first season.
You come to love it like I did Superstar.
When Macho was having sex with his girlfriend, that was
dude, they just blew into the room. And then, like, I like the guy who plays the Yao guy. He's a really funny comedian.
He's
Ronnie
in a lot
Chang
of
guy.
stuff, yeah.
Really good. Yeah.
He does a lot of podcasting, too.
He's a really funny guy.
All right, Charles, let's go into Animation Corner, Bill's favorite section.
I'm curious about this. I really am.
All right. First up, I've been touting it on the show. Invincible. It debuted on Amazon Prime. This is the show I told you guys about where it's kind of like Superman and Spider-Man have a kid.
Voiced by Glenn.
Glenn from, J.K. Simmons plays his father.
Oh, J.K. Simmons is in everything superhero. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, he really is. He's not he's never the main character, but he's always in
He's always in there.
There's a lot of people in this. Seth Rogen shows up. He's one of the voices. It's an all-star cast. I'd be amazed if the show makes past 3 seasons because of the
budget
voice.
alone.
Yeah, I know. 3 episodes. It dropped right off the bat, and then it's going to do 1 each week after that. Now, Invincible, the comic, the reason why I like it is it's a whole series. It's issue 1 through 150, and it's an Image comic, and it gives you the comic book tropes, and then it changes stuff on you. And in this one, in this comic, when people die, they stay dead. Now, Marvel, Tony Stark has died 472 times.
That's comic books as a
whole. I know, and that's why
they play fast and loose with that premise.
I know, and that's why I like Invincible, because it doesn't do that. Here's
the Walking Dead of
here's episode 1, here's 150, and it's done. We're over with. That was the story, and that's one thing that appealed to me. And plus, there's a lot of
fighting? Who are we going against? What is the premise?
The premise is he's basically Superman's son. Superman's from another planet. He came here, but his name's Omni-Man.
Whatever.
Yeah. And there's a fake knockoff Justice League. They're called Guardians of the Globe and stuff like that. So, but he came. The Superman character came here middle aged. He didn't come as a child.
Okay.
From another planet, and he's been protecting the planet. He had a kid with this woman who is his son, who becomes invincible, and he's training him to be
following his footsteps.
Well, there's big twists in there.
Who are we fighting?
Just generic super villains and stuff like that.
Okay, so there is a full-fledged universe.
Yeah, and there's a lot of superheroes in this universe. Okay. Well, the big twist is, and I'm spoilers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, everyone's gonna listen. The fucking Omni-Man is really an evil prick, and he fucking kills the whole Justice League.
Oh.
It doesn't tell his son. His job is to befriend everyone on Earth, kill all the superheroes that can hold them back, and then his people are going to come and invade Earth.
Oh.
So see a nice twist.
Okay.
And that's just one of the many twists that are in this story, and I've read all the comics.
Sounds like you're into it.
Yeah. Well, I always judge it on Michelle. Okay, so I'm a nerd. I read it all. I know it all. Okay. I'll wait
You're
for her.
skewed.
First 5 minutes, she was like, fake Justice League. What is this? This is terrible. And then when fucking J.K. Simmons crushed the one dude's head, it's like The Boys a little bit violence-wise, and killed that whole Justice League, she was in. She was like, oh my God, that guy just killed everybody. So that hooked her in. So it's real good.
Is it played very adult for being an animation and everything like that? Is it played very adult? Okay.
Yeah. So, like I said, I liked it a lot. It lived up to the book. It's funny, Glenn from The Walking Dead, his voice is rather young sound because he's only supposed to be like 18 in this kind of.
It works,
it fits him. And like I said, the voice, Sandra always plays his mom. I'm telling you, the voice cast is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's why I don't know how long this is going to last.
Better bang, or
I better live this up for a season or two because it'll probably be canceled after that. It's an 8 out of 10 for me so far. Bill's falling asleep. I'm boring the piss out of him.
I just cut to him too. He's falling asleep on it.
So I liked it a lot. Bill's not going to watch that.
Let's way into that review. I'll be honest.
It's on Amazon Prime, Charles. So I'm not sure if you'll even watch it.
I'm into it. I am. If I ever get.
It's like an
much
animated...
like The Boys, if I ever get a Prime membership, which they always hook me up, I'm going to probably watch it. I looked for it. I wanted to see it. I often am entertained by something that has alternate takes like you're talking about.
Yeah.
But the thing that does scare me is it does sound an awful lot like The Boys, so I don't know. I wonder if this was brought to Amazon's attention because it's so much like The Boys.
It's possible, but... It takes twists and turns, and in the comic, it was really funny because they would make fun of like how comics would leave a dead panel for three panels, like because the kid in the comic, the superhero kid, reads comics a lot. Yeah, well, he reads comics a lot, so he's talking to his friend. Don't you hate it when they just like try to express an emotion by leaving the same panel over and over, and then in the comic it would be just his picture over and over and over, like what they just ripped on. It's I'm not explaining it right, but it's funny. So, anyways, very good, 8 out of 10. At the end of the season, I'll give it a final review. Hopefully, it maintains its quality right now. And then the last thing I watched, and this is another one of these anime. Dota's game
the Day
by
of the
Valve.
Age as a MOBA, right?
Yeah. So they made like a fantasy adventure animated series based on it. It's like 8 episodes. Looks great, but everything else is terrible. Yeah. So this is like. The problem with fantasies, you got to keep it basic, right? Lord of the Rings is basic. There's an evil ring. The dude's got to throw it in the mountain, throw it in the fucking lava. Very simple. This isn't simple. Like, he's fighting dragons, but then there's a mystic elf, and then there's this other thing.
Oh, remember, like, so that was going to tell you. So, like, Lord of the Rings had the same premise of that Justice League movie. Instead of a ring, it was just lame boxes. Yes. And the Doom guy was trying to find it.
Yeah, same thing. Keep it easy. I don't know, and this Dota doesn't do it. It's got this bloated storyline that makes no goddamn sense.
It's extra anime.
Yeah, it's extra, but it's all American made. That's why I watched it. I thought, well, looks great, but it's terrible. 4 out of 10. No. I don't. They left it up for a second season. I won't be back. So there you go, Charles. That's wrap us up for animation because Bill is very bored with that. He doesn't like it.
BB looks very into it.
He's like, God damn it, can we get to the basketball? Charles, you went to liberal land.
Yeah, so we are trying to avoid going on planes and all that kind of stuff. So I hit the wife up on the kiddo, and she did a report on Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I was like, hey, we can drive out to Grand Rapids. I can get cheap hotel rooms because of the industry that I work in. Like, let's slide out there and let's go out to Grand Rapids. It'd be a 2.5-hour drive. We don't got to be near anyone. We can keep to ourselves. So we went out there, had a good time. That town is very much hit by COVID. Like, it's a ghost town. Everything closes super early and all that kind of stuff.
Why do you keep looking at your watch?
Nothing. So it's super kooky. So I went out to a few restaurants that were out there, and basically they're terrible. And I just wanted to discuss the few restaurants that I went out to. I went out to this Electric Cheetah that was on the top of the list.
First off, that sounds like a strip club.
Yeah, well, they tout this macaroni and cheese shit, and it was terrible. Like, it was the worst macaroni and cheese. They also had this in-house root beer. Even Lauren,
I think that's the place we went to. That's the place I'm talking about. Did they have avocado toast?
I didn't see any avocado toast.
Were they like wood benches where you sat?
No. They were just like regular tables and stuff like that.
Maybe that's not. Because they had the same thing. Michelle got the macaroni.
Dude,
it was
terrible. I don't know what the Electric Cheetah. Avoid if you go out to Grand Rapids. It'll show up on all the Yelp lists, all the Google lists. It's bullshit.
It's very trendy, though, right?
The other one I went to, we were in this town called Kentwood to go to this Monica's Cookies because I love Monica's Drop Cookies. I turned you on. We went to the home of Monica's Drop Cookies. That was amazing. So that was the best part.
Did she have Oompa Loompas?
What? No, there was no Oompas, no Loompas, no nothing there.
Oh, man.
So I went to this Cantina Mexican Grill. And it was super busy when we drove by. It was super cool to see. I was like, oh, man, what's going on? It was the most tasteless Mexican food I ever had in my life. Nothing was seasoned. I was terrible. I was telling Steve pre-show, BB, I think that there's so many white liberal women in this neighborhood that they don't want to, like, they're afraid of, like, their taste buds or something. I don't know what's going on. But
avocado's too spicy for them.
Yeah, it was awful. We went to 2 restaurants, and it was just, nothing was seasoned. Nothing had any spice. Nothing had anything. Awful. So anyway,
Karen.
What's that, BB?
Damn it, Karen.
Damn it, Karen.
Yeah, Karen ruined all that. It's a whole thing. But then we did go to the home of Monica's Drop Cookies. If you've ever had a Monica's Drop Cookie, Steve, we turned him on to one. They're delicious. I don't know how the hell they make these things. They're not quite cookie dough, and they're not quite cookies. I don't know what they're made out of. They're magic.
They're made out of diabetes.
Yeah, they're made out of diabetes. And they're awesome. If you get a chance to check them out, they're in Grand Rapids is their home. We actually went to the place where they make them and all this kind of stuff. And I asked the dude, I go, do you guys like actually make them all here? And like, yeah, in the back and all this stuff. So love Monica's Drop Cookies. Avoid the electric cheetah. And if it's the place you went to, never go there. It's terrible. So anyway.
Was in the back, did they have a lot of electric car hookups in the back in the parking lot?
No.
We were at a different place then. But it had the same kind of stuff. We had, Michelle liked the mac and cheese. I forgot what I ate, and neither one of us, we were both like,
it was terrible.
And they had homemade sodas there.
Well, they might be.
Because I ordered a Diet Coke, and they're like, we have house brand. I was like, seriously?
Yeah, they're also, it might be like one of the ones they have a couple of spots.
Maybe
it is, but
I
it
just
was
don't remember that
terrible.
name.
Not a fan of the electric cheetah, and if they're listening to this show, your food sucked. Season it. Give me some pepper. I don't know what was going on. I was like, me and Heather both were like, this is terrible.
Michelle's going to put it on Facebook. I bet you she remembers the damn.
If it was electric, you might have gone to the other electric cheetah. Maybe they have like a second restaurant or second location or something.
I'll check real quick. I was looking at their menu earlier.
Oh, it sucked so bad.
It looks like it wants to be kind of fancy too.
Dude, it looks like, you know how there's like always like that one quirky chick who opens up a diners, drive-ins, and dives and all that kind of shit. It looks like that. It's just terrible.
You know,
it's just one location.
Oh, is it? Oh.
I'll have to look up the place we went. I know it had some kind of green in it. It had wooden benches on the inside, and it had their own trendy sodas. That's why. That's why when you said their house brand root beer, I was like,
it was a nitro root beer, and it came out. Lorna goes, the foam is the only thing that tastes like anything. It tastes terrible.
That's fun. What's funny is how liberal and weird Grand Rapids is, but I did enjoy it while I was there.
It's a nice town.
Yeah, we went to. They got a little zoo. We went to the zoo there.
It's hit by COVID though. I'm telling you, like everything around there, everything closed early. A bunch of restaurants didn't even open.
It reminds me of a poor man.
Oh, that was another one we went to. So we did a whole bunch of cookies. We stopped at, have you guys ever heard of Insomnia Cookies? It's apparently at Eastern Michigan.
No,
it's in Ann Arbor too.
It sucks. You walk in there and they give you Subway cookies. I'm like, these are the same cookies at Subway.
When we went to Central, there was one.
Did you guys stop in?
Yeah, they were big. They were probably about the size of my hand, about half-inch thick and warm.
These were Subway cookies.
Well, you got the C crew.
I don't know.
You got the midnight crew.
I don't know, man. I'm just telling you right now.
We had
Insomnia.
good ones.
I don't know. At least in Grand Rapids, Insomnia cookies sucked. They broke out some bullshit ass Subway cookies.
One in Mount Pleasant had good cookies.
Well, I don't know. Insomnia cookies blows in Grand Rapids too. That's another one we sucked when we were there too. We had the worst culinary 3 days, and because the nice part is calories don't count when you guys are on vacation. Do you guys know this?
I did not know that.
Yeah. Well, FYI, if you're on a calorie diet, if you go on
like
vacation,
if you're in a different area code, you can have different hosts.
Exactly.
That's how. That's Bill lives by that.
Oh my God. So,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Liar.
So anyway, that was our Grand Rapids adventure.
All right.
The other funny thing too is we go to this Fred Meyer garden. My daughter's obsessed. They have this. It's called an American horse, Da Vinci's American horse. He designed it, and then some chick sculpted it, and it was huge. And she's been obsessed with it since she did a report. So we go to the to the tchotchke shop. I'm like, let's get her own little horse we could take home, put on our little travel display like we always have, as you know from here. They don't sell a miniature version of this goddamn horse.
Are you serious?
Just a book. I go, what am I going to do with a book? It's so stupid.
You can't have the one tchotchke I'm looking for.
God damn it.
You guys should have went down to Holland and saw some tulips. I don't think they're growing.
We've done the hive. We have no problem with Holland. So.
Yeah. All right, just a quick tech thing this week. Bill and I are both big Google Chrome fans. But lately, Chrome for me has been eating up a lot of resources on my computer. So I switched over to Charles's view, Microsoft Edge. And the nice thing about all these browsers now, you could bring in the settings from your old browser. It's like all my passwords and stuff I just brought in right from Google. So I don't, because there's nothing worse when you do a new browser and all your old passwords on an old browser. You have to go. So it pulled it all in. And I think Edge runs a little faster than Chrome, to be honest with you.
I used Edge the whole time. We talked about it pre-show. I've had no issue with it. I know it's baked in, and usually IT douches such as yourself see that I use the Edge browser or the Internet Explorer and go, oh my God. I don't know. I don't like plugins and all this other shit. I just like it to work. I guess I'm weird like that.
Well, I have to have all the browsers because I got to test all the websites in the browser.
I don't use Firefox.
What's
the weird privacy one that all the weirdos are a part of? DuckDuckGo.
Well, that's a search engine.
Oh,
and then there's Opera.
There's a lot of that. I don't use any of that shit.
Yeah, but I just say Microsoft Edge, if you get a chance, maybe give it a second chance. I know a lot of people left it behind for Chrome. It's just Chrome's getting so bloated, and they've come out in many articles saying they're going to start reducing that. But there you go. I don't want to take too much time on that because no one's coming in for a tech advice from us. Well, actually, a lot of people do, actually. Yeah. To be honest. But all right, Bill, what time last night did the Michigan game get over? Roughly.
I want to say it was a little after 11 my local time, so probably a little bit after midnight.
Yeah, see, because last night I was sleeping, and I woke up from sleep at about midnight because I heard a scream coming from Cincinnati.
Oh.
Because the Michigan Wolverines lost to the UCLA Bruins. And you know there's one guy that lives down in Ohio that really, really loves Juwan Howard and the Michigan Wolverines. So, Bill, I didn't get to see the game. Can you fill us in on what happened and why the Wolverines lost?
I was actually texting with Gabe kind of through
I checked my phone.
Half.
I had 47 messages in the morning from you two. I said, Jesus Christ, they were talking.
Michigan basically let UCLA get them into their style of game.
What is their style of game?
Well, I mean, they were taking bad threes. They're kind of just throwing up shots. They would when Michigan got the ball down low, they pretty much dominated, but they wouldn't stick with it. UCLA for the most part just was two guys hitting cheese shots, but that's been the whole tournament. That's the same thing they did to Alabama, basically. And so game was like I think it ended like 50-49 or 51-50, something like that.
51-49 is what they said on ESPN this morning.
Oh, okay.
I caught it.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. Because I know that when it got towards the end, Michigan looked like they were finally starting to take control of the game, but then they would just have another lull and they turn the ball over, and next thing you know, UCLA has the lead. I know at the end of the game when UCLA, they hit a free throw to go up 2, and then they ran a play for, I can't remember exactly what it was, but they ran a play for Wagner who misses a 3. Like they didn't need a 3, but he curls around and shoots a 3 and airballs it. Oof. Well, some other guy from Michigan tried to scoop it up and try to lay it in, and it's kind of a crazy layup from underneath the basket. That didn't work. They end up getting 2 more shots at the basket before time runs out, and miss all of them. Smith, the little dude with like the goofy James Brown looking haircut, he missed a 3, and then I want to say it was might have been Wagner again that shot a 3 at the end. But yeah, they had three looks at it and didn't hit a shot. So
they didn't deserve to win, basically.
No, they shouldn't have.
They're saying on the news they had 4 shots at the basket with 11 seconds left in it.
Yeah, because they had the 3. So they had Wagner had that air ball 3 when they didn't need a 3 at all. The guy well, I forget the guy's name, but he scooped the ball. It was going out of bounds, and before it could go out of bounds, he got it and tried to like flip it up, kind of in some kind of a cheesy layup, and that didn't work. They finally got a play where the ball goes out. It got knocked out of after UCLA made a free throw. They had a ball get knocked out. Like he missed a 3, and then a ball got knocked out of bounds, and then so they had the ball with like 0.5 or whatever left, and got a shot up and missed that too. So yeah, they had three open looks and a crazy attempted scoop layup. that missed.
So UCLA wins, moves on, 11 seed over 1. Gonzaga wins pretty dominantly. I didn't watch that game. Was it pretty much a domination?
Yeah, they were up. They were up between 15 and 20 by midway in the first half, and it pretty much stayed that way the rest of the game.
Yeah. So that sets up in the Final Four. Gonzaga is going to take on UCLA. Baylor, my team, the Rape U still alive versus Houston. Bill's team, Gonzaga, is still alive. So it's the two of us still got our bets alive. So we'll see how that goes. So far as the picks go.
So can you win at that point? I mean, is there even a possibility that if BB is up 10-8?
No, as far as our picks go,
BB
Bill's
won.
Yeah,
Bill, there's no way.
Bill has redeemed himself from the football season. He has 10 wins right now. He can get a Final Four and a championship. He can get up to 12
And I got to be honest
wins.
with you, I'm looking at the numbers here. I'm not a mathematician here. But I believe the king of shit talkers, Mr. Poffo himself out of Cincinnati.
Gabe the Greek?
Yeah. I think that
AKA
7 is the least amount correct out of all this.
I'm just saying. 3 linemen in a taste test. Maybe it's harder to actually make picks when we actually record you and know what you're picking.
As opposed to the scattershot approach that he took on everything else in the football season.
He'll get to defend himself April 10th. He'll come on. But your last, buddy, just so you know, I hope you hear this on the podcast. Your phone doesn't make weird noises as you play the podcast. Now, Bill could still score 2 more. I could still score, or I could score 2 more if both our teams win.
Basically, at best, you could tie BV, is what you're telling me.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. If Gonzaga gets eliminated,
Gonzaga lose to UCLA. Which I'm sorry, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's probably not going to happen. So Bill's probably going to be the big winner out of us. But it wasn't important. The only thing important was Gabe the Greek came in
you
last.
You guys are still alive to win how much cabbage for the two of you?
For me, if Baylor wins, I will win $250.
Okay, and BB,
Bill,
what do you get?
Is that total or is that profit on the 50?
Well, okay.
So what will they give you back?
Okay, yeah.
I bet 50. I will get 250 back. Okay. So I'll only win 200.
Did you bet them to win or just to go to the Final Four?
To win.
Okay, I did the same thing with Gonzaga. If Gonzaga wins, I'll cash out at like 152.
So you'll win $102 basically.
Yeah, basically.
Oh.
Now Gabe did mention he only took Michigan because we were pressuring him into his squad. But
he's saying we skewed his picks.
Well, listen to this though. He also told us at the time he would have took Illinois, and they got eliminated too. So either way, he's in the shitter.
I had Illinois and Ohio State in my Final Four.
Yeah. So there we go. A lot of fun. You could not predict this tournament.
It was impossible.
In Gabe's defense, it was a crazy tournament, but you're still last. I don't want to hear it. Little Mach.
The Poffo family name has been ruined.
You are out of 4. You finished 4th, so go fuck yourself. Got to give him a little shit. So his scream was like when Superman died in Justice League and it went all the way around the world. That's essentially what that scream was when Michigan lost. So there you go. The look at the tournament. Now, Bill, what day are the Final Four games on this weekend? Are they Saturday, Sunday?
They're finally getting back to regular schedule. So the semifinal games will be Saturday evening, and then the following Monday night will be the championship game like it normally is.
Are they on Saturday at a reasonable time?
Yeah, also a good question.
Let me take
those 10 p.m. games I did not make. Yeah. I'll be honest. Passed out on both of those.
I'll get the schedule here and check.
Which made no sense why Michigan was late.
So 5:15 your time will be the Houston and Baylor game, and then 8:35 is when Philly gets.
That's a reasonable schedule. Yeah.
And plus, no one's got to work.
And the Monday, the championship game will probably start a little bit after 9 your time. That's how that. Let me see if I can. Let me pull that up exactly. Yeah, it's.
They did that same thing with the football. So the football started too late and shit like that too.
So there you go. The tournament's almost over. A lot of fun so far. Bill and I still have a chance to win some money. Charles, unfortunately, is done. And now Gabe is done. All right. Now let's go to some news here. We're cranking right along.
Okay, this is like the quickest podcast in history.
Hey, we ain't got time to fuck around, BV.
Guess not.
So
we're all hopped up on Twinkie sugar.
Yeah, go.
Can't get that taste of film out of my mouth. Oh,
Yeah. It's not the first time Bill said that.
Oh,
dude, you sick fuck.
So here's the funny thing. So Disney is bragging about their numbers, their subscribers. They're over 100 million already. So you're thinking, wow, they're making a lot of money. They're doing good.
no such thing.
So they're they're still gonna hit all Disney Plus people with $1 a month raise on the. Now I prepaid until November, so I don't know if that. I don't think it's gonna charge me, but it will probably in November.
You're
for
re-up. When you re-up, they're going to screw you. They're definitely going to get their money at some point out of you.
Yeah.
Ass.
So
It's
Disney
crazy.
Plus seeing $1 price hike. Bill, do you still have Disney Plus?
I preemptively curbed this crap because they killed my bundle. So initially,
you can't even have that bundle anymore.
Initially the deal was what, $12.95 or $12.99. It was ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and Hulu, and they stopped letting me log into ESPN Plus at all. And I hadn't tried Hulu, but then I saw that Disney was going to raise the price, and I just canceled Disney Plus.
There you go.
So,
get out of there.
Because that's
the
probably
nice part about these
services. One I
services.
use the least.
It's the nice part about these services. If you don't like the price hikes, get the hell out. That's the beauty part of it. The only thing is, if you do like a Steve move and you purchase the year out, you at least lock in for the year. But then the problem is you already gave them the money for the year. So if the content doesn't justify the price, you're already into it. But you're assuming with Disney Plus, they're going to have the content for you.
Yeah. This summer, they're having Monsters at Work. That's a new series. Your daughter might like. July 2nd. That's coming out.
I'm not getting Disney Plus back anytime soon. I'm not getting it until the fall. I won't get it until like the Mandalorian and stuff like that comes back.
Agree.
And Mandalorian's not coming back in the fall.
I know, but some Star Wars stuff will come back in the fall.
Book of Boba Fett comes out.
Yeah, that's basically
that's
what
not until December. So really, you won't get it till the winter.
Yeah, so I'm not
You're good to
anytime
go.
soon. Yeah, I'm definitely out for a while.
But
then again,
what?
You said Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like wait till the Mandalorian anyway.
yeah, I at the same time too, we talked about Death by a Thousand Cuts of the Netflix. I've been okay with no Netflix too, man. I've been all right.
Yeah,
rolling
when the
that.
two things I watched were Dota and The Crew, I think I'm pretty good. You're not missing much.
Yeah.
They do have a new Shadow and Bones coming. It's a fantasy adventure type thing coming out on April 23rd on Netflix. It looks like a very, I'm always hesitant on Netflix.
Yeah.
It looks good in the trailer, so maybe after the podcast I'll show it to you.
Yeah, maybe.
It's fantasy, witches, warriors, stuff like that, but Netflix has burned us before. I don't know.
It's so expensive now. It's the problem. You really got to think ahead if it's giving you enough content to justify it, and that's what it boils down to.
Yeah. All right, Bill. Now, Bill, are you a Bitcoin millionaire yet?
BV's out.
No,
I thought
I got out of mine a couple of weeks ago, and it looks like where prices are, I think I made a good call because, when I got out, Bitcoin was up over 60,000. Ethereum was like 1950, something like that, and Litecoin was well over 200, and their Bitcoin's been settling in that 956 to 58
say 55
range.
is where it's been hovering.
Yeah, right now it's just under 59, but.
Yeah.
So everything is still lower than it was where I sold it. I didn't get quite the same level of profit as Charles, but I had a little bit more into it too. I ended up taking about 8.25 out total after fees. So it was a little over 20% for me because I had 4G in.
Well,
But,
if you guys
not
were
enough to buy a Tesla. That way.
if you were Bitcoin rich, Tesla is now accepting Bitcoin to buy their cars.
Well, I got to tell you, I don't, and so me and BV dipped a toe in the crypto markets and all that kind of stuff, just dipped a quick toe, nothing too crazy. I don't see how any of these crypto assets and all this kind of stuff can be viable to buy an automobile. So think about if you woke up tomorrow and Steve's like, you know what? I'm going to go buy a Tesla today. That might cost you 1.25 Bitcoins, depending on the hour you look at it. It might cost you 1 Bitcoin the hour you look at it. Like, the market is so volatile that, like, it's impossible. Like, so imagine if we're to believe that crypto money is going to be the future of all things, right? How on earth, in the line to buy a hot dog, your hot dog price would go from $6 to $7 back down to $2 in like 30 seconds. It's insane.
Yeah, I'll take one hot dog. Wait a minute.
Yeah, like you literally.
Now,
yeah,
take the hot dog.
it doesn't make any sense. Like this whole thing that these people are buying into, like, oh, this is the future. So imagine like if you bought like $100,000 house. That price would go from 140 down to 95, down to 110. It would be insane. You can't conduct business with something as volatile as Bitcoin. Do you have a theory on that, BV? I mean, you agree?
Well, yeah, actually, it's weird because I know, like, for example, one of the things that I've come in contact with my job is there's a desire to put in Bitcoin ATMs and things like convenience stores, which to me is completely ridiculous. But
wouldn't the convenience store just peel off the fees? Isn't that all?
But the idea that people are literally using an ATM for Bitcoin is a little bit confusing to me. But
would it come out in like gold coins with that big?
Well, no, that's the thing. There is no physical. There's no real
digital.
Yeah. But I think this is a product of the fact that Elon Musk is putting such an investment into cryptocurrency, and I think he's taking steps to try to further legitimize it. I think this is one of them. The other thing I would say with this is because right now it's way too volatile. I agree. It just doesn't seem to be a viable option for commerce. Well, I don't know, but there is a lot of there's been a lot of corporate investment into particularly Bitcoin, but into cryptocurrency in the last few months. There's the potential that corporations.
There's the potential they could ban it too, BV. That's the other thing that no one's like.
True.
The Fed tomorrow can come out and be like, dude, we're not allowing you to deal in crypto in America. And all those people are just assed out. Like they're going to have to figure out through Gabe's weird Aruba sports bet how to get their money out.
But I guess the way I would look at this from a practicality standpoint is that if you're buying a Tesla with Bitcoin, you're probably not overly concerned with the temporary volatility of the cryptocurrency. I think most people probably don't have their life savings sitting in Bitcoin, and hopefully they're not, using that entirety of their life savings to buy that Tesla. I would think most people that are going to do this have a broad enough portfolio that they can withstand a little volatility in the Bitcoin.
But what you just said though, it's not like it's a little. Like, that's why Steve, when we talked about it initially, Steve was like, oh, hell no. It's not a little volatile. You can literally, within 24 hours, watch that shit bounce 10, 15 grand. Like, it's not, like, it's insane. It's like a 20% jump in 24 hours. Like, what BV's describing is like, it might go up 1 or 2%. Dude, it literally swings.
No, what I'm talking about, though, is it being reflective of, for example, the small investments that we had into crypto as an overall percentage of our total worth and investments, a low percentage. I would imagine that most people, or a significant percentage of people at least, that hold a significant amount of Bitcoin have that as a relatively small percentage of their total holdings.
I agree.
So that if they go to buy with it in Bitcoin, that volatility, it's not that it doesn't matter, but
insane.
It's not going to. But it's not going to ruin most people. If you have enough Bitcoin to flat out just buy a Tesla, I would hope in most cases a little volatility or a lot of volatility with that particular currency isn't going to have a drastic effect on your overall worth.
Well, what do they say? The one Panther got his contract in Bitcoin and all that stuff. So I see what BV's saying, that if you were look at the majority of it, but I'm just saying, imagine you were someone who put 10 G's into it a few years ago, and now you got 6 times the price, you got enough to buy, and then I just don't feel like that volatility just lends itself to not be serious, in my opinion. 24 hours a day it's bouncing. It literally is like watching the debt clock. It's that crazy. I don't know. So.
Yeah, I would hope that they have some kind of mechanism to lock in a rate when they decide to make a purchase, so that sort of like, when you went to sell off your crypto, that you locked in kind of like a rate at the time that you made the transaction. It was completed later.
But it's completed at that.
Well, they basically, when they approve, because the actual transfer of the funds takes place afterwards. So what happened is that when I went to sell the various currencies, when I completed, clicked to complete the transaction with
that number changed. Yeah. Did you sell it through Coinbase?
Yes.
Yeah. So when you settled out, that number tweaked. I guarantee you it did.
I ended up getting pretty much exactly what it's saying.
No, it'll tweak. I know for a fact it will. So if you click exchange that shit out, by the time you settle through the blockchain, your shit can adjust. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. I get Steve's point. I'm like, I'm good.
It'd be weird to go buy your Tesla with your Bitcoin, and then they're doing the paperwork, and while they're doing the paperwork, suddenly that Bitcoin's worth 20%. And no, we literally saw swings, Steve, where I remember seeing a thing we're literally like, I saw Bitcoin in a 24-hour period go from like 55,000 a coin to like 62, and then back down to like 55, 56 within a 24-hour period.
For no fucking reason.
The volatility is unreal.
Ned Flanders said slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah. And meanwhile, you're trying to get insurance on that Tesla. By the time you get your insurance documents over, this shit's gone up 10 grand. You're like, I don't know.
Put it this way: our net worths and portfollios have no business playing with any significance in cryptocurrency.
Yeah, it's crazy.
None.
So
it's neat to look at, neat to play with, but God, it's crazy.
Get your Bitcoin together, head on down to the Tesla dealer.
Yeah. You can also do it through PayPal and shit like that. What'd you say?
How much is a Tesla at this point?
Well, you can buy a base for like 35, 38, something like that. Like that Tesla 3, like the most nerfed version of it.
What's the one I can fit in?
An X, that's the Gullwing thing. Yeah, about 100. Yeah. 2 Bitcoins.
Jesus. Those, I think those start at about 80, 85.
Jesus Christ.
But they still, Tesla's got issues. Like they downgraded their initial product ability, like how well that people thought of them and stuff, because they got quality control issues and stuff, because he's feeling the pressure to like get those numbers up as far as production and stuff. So I don't know. I see a lot of them.
And it's not even just, you'd think it'd be, the battery technology, but they're even having problems with like fit and finish.
That's what I'm
panels
saying.
not being
they're
even.
Just janky,
they're trying to crank them out so quickly that they're starting to put out crap products.
People love them though.
Well, there you go. Get you a Tesla with some Bitcoin. All right, Charles, I'm going to hit you with some MMA news, if I can talk. Misha Tate, familiar with her?
Yeah, Cupcake.
Okay.
That's her nickname. Is Cupcake
did not know
Tate.
that.
Yeah, she got the big fake cans. Yeah.
She's coming out of retirement.
She also got whooped up on by Ronda Rousey a bunch.
Well, she's coming out of retirement for one more fight versus Marion Reneau.
I don't know who that is.
Because she's retiring as well, so she wanted her last fight to be against Misha Tate. I don't know if that's in UFC or some other form, but so there you go. I don't like women fighting, so I don't give two shits. I'm not going to watch that, but there you go. Thoughts on Misha Tate?
I know that people loved her, but she got whooped up on all the time by Ronda Rousey. She left out to have a kid, I want to say. Her man was in her corner and all that kind of stuff. She was big in that initial push for female boxing, or female MMA, rather. Really big name and all that kind of stuff, and then Ronda just put it on her every time. So she just
How many times did they fight?
I want to say 2 or 3 times. Yeah, and every time Ronda Rousey just whooped her ass. Crazy.
Oh. So there you go. Misha Tate's coming back. Now, speaking of old relics, Bill, maybe you can elaborate on this a little bit. So a week or so ago, there was news that Mike Tyson Holyfield is going to happen on May 29th. Now, this is weird. So at first, Mike Tyson said, no, nothing's going to happen. Then 2 days later, he tweets that it is on, that it isn't on. My real question is, does anyone care? After watching the Roy Jones Jr. fighting him, where it was more of a sparring exhibition, and the highlight was Snoop Dogg, is anyone eager to see basically a sparring match with Holyfield and Tyson? Bill, you are the boxing expert. You let us know. What do you think?
I'd be more interested to see Tyson versus Holyfield than I would have been to see Tyson Roy Jones, because Holyfield's a legitimate heavyweight. You would expect him to go in and actually engage and not run from Jones. My understanding of what's happened here is that something is soured with Tyson's relationship with the company. I can't remember, it's like Triller or something like that, the company that put on the original, the thing he did with Roy Jones. And so he won't work with this company anymore. Whereas apparently they were negotiating. Holyfield's camp came out and said that Tyson turned down a guaranteed $30 million payday because he won't work with that company for a fight against Holyfield. Now Holyfield is literally, he's like 58 or 59 years old. I mean, he's really pushing the limit of the age when this is really safe to do anymore, I think. But
it's pushing the edge. It's 58, 59.
Well, no, I mean,
I would fucking die in that ring, dude. You're crazy.
Yeah,
would you give money for this, BV?
I wouldn't pay a full pay-per-view price for it, no.
And you know that they can't really hurt each other, just based on the rules from the last one. They can't, once it's, like in the last one, if either one of them would have started bleeding, they would have stopped the fight. So, it's not going to be a real good fight, I don't think. It's not going to be entertaining.
Who wins it?
Probably Holyfield again.
You think so? BV, who do you think?
I think Tyson probably wins this one.
I have no idea.
I think Holyfield took a lot more damage over the years than Tyson did. Tyson took one or two beatings, but Holyfield was in wars his entire. He has always kept himself in good shape, but he was slurring words in the middle of his championship reign. I don't know that he's gonna. I would be surprised if he can still take punches very well.
I don't think either one of them are going to get knocked down, and they're going to call it a draw again.
Well, if they're going to use that, I would say this: if they're going to use that same premise, like the whole thing about the blood would stop the fight in 2-minute rounds, and I have no interest in watching 2-minute round fights at all.
That's what it's going to be. It's going to be just like the last fight.
Well, then I don't want to watch it.
BV's out.
BV's out now.
I'm only going to watch it if they have those great rap videos in the middle. It was so bad.
I think one of the Logan Paul or whatever.
Yeah, they're fighting Ben Askren. Yeah,
Ben Askren. Who's Ben Askren?
He's the MMA guy. Remember, I told you he was supposed to be like the next big thing. He got whooped, like he retired immediately.
Oh, so Ben Askren versus Logan Paul.
He won in like a bunch of other like Bellator and stuff like that.
Yeah. Now I do have a little bit of outside the box boxing news. Your boy Sylvester Stallone is shopping around a prequel series for Rocky to the streaming networks.
Oh, that's cool.
All the characters, Mickey, Adrian, all of them, it'll be what they did before the first Rocky.
Huh.
I don't know if I like that because he won't be. Will he be boxing?
I don't know. I'd watch it.
He was a club fighter, right? And he was already in his 30s. Right, I think he was like 30. I think the whole timeline when he first got the shot with Apollo, he was like 30 or 31.
So he was a boxer when the first movie started.
He was a club fighter. So he fought locally. He didn't,
So the prequels would cover
his big fights were guys like Spider Rico and shit.
I don't give a shit. I'm watching that, son. Take my money, Sylvester.
You see his life, right? He's fighting his club fights. He's collecting for Gaza on
the docks. Yeah, what are you talking about?
Stallone will not let that Rocky go.
I don't give a shit. Keep pumping that shit out, Sylvester.
Yeah, I'm with Charles on this. Anything you put that name to, I'm watching. Even if I'm pretty sure it's going to be bad, I'm watching to find out.
So yeah, he is shopping around. No one's taking it yet, but he's writing and producing a Rocky prequel series.
I wonder who would
Netflix
they get to
would be
play
crazy to
young
pass
Rocky?
it up. Huh?
Who they get to play young Rocky?
Hopefully a nobody.
The dude who played the Punisher.
Oh yeah,
Shane from The Walking Dead,
Bernthal or whatever his name is.
He'd be pretty good.
See, the thing is, though, I kind of like to see them take a boxer, like a former amateur, someone who fights southpaw, someone that they can actually.
I'd like to see whoever the hell they can. I don't give a shit. Give me that story.
I want to see it consistent with the character.
What if you got the Vietnam years of Rambo?
Dude, I don't give a shit, Steve. I'm down with all. Sylvester Stallone speaks to me. I don't know how else to describe.
What they did a prequel series of Over the Top.
Okay.
He showed where he got the hat from, how he put the weights in his truck.
I think would be an interesting ending to all that, though, would be let him have a fallout with Creed, and then have them fight each other at the very end.
Apollo Creed?
No, the younger Creed.
You mean Rocky Balboa, who now has cancer?
Yeah, Rocky Balboa. He beats the cancer. He's gonna Rocky Balboa versus Adonis Creed.
I trust whatever Sylvester puts down on the paper for that character. That man, that character are one and the same. He's amazing. I love it.
He's kind of like. Have you heard about the Samaritan?
No, I know of it, but I haven't.
He's like an older, retired, out of shape superhero or something.
I don't give a shit.
And some kid believes in him, and Yeah, he's supposed to. Yeah.
Okay, I'm in.
Hear about that new movie where he takes a shit for 2 hours? Charles is down.
Love it, dude. I'm gonna go watch Driven, where he's like a Formula One driver.
Oh my god, they got a prequel series.
I don't go that far, but if it's got the Rocky name on it, I'm all for it.
Dude.
Well, you love Sly that much. Do you love Nicolas Cage?
I love these movies. I gotta be
I
honest.
can't stand Nicolas Cage.
Dude, the National Treasure movies though are very entertaining.
They're his
Movies
best movies, hands
yeah,
down.
they're great. Like they're weirdly like it's kind of like that Da Vinci
Indiana
Code
Jones.
thing. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Like all the shit's on the back of the Declaration of Independence. Like that's cool. I don't know. I like those movies.
Well, Jerry Bruckheimer, the guy who brought you Pirates of the Caribbean and the National Treasure, is going to bring a 10-episode series to Disney Plus about National Treasure. But it will now be with Nicolas Cage. The new lead will be a Latino, either woman, I think, is what they're going to say. And
Dora the Explorer.
yeah, but
Swipe or no swiping.
they're
He's
looking
coming
for
back.
well, they actually just said Latino lead in the series is what they're going to go
I'm
with.
into it. I really do. I enjoy the National Treasure movies. They're complete bullshit, but like very entertaining. I don't know.
You ever wonder? I always wonder this too. So, like Indiana Jones, National Treasure, they go like in National Treasure, they go into that treasure room. So, at one point, way back in the day when all that treasure was put in there, someone set up all these elaborate traps.
Very crafty.
I mean, who took the time to do all these things? Who set up all this shit?
First of all, you should know better than to try to apply logic to a Nick Cage movie.
Yeah,
You know
that
what
is
I mean?
true.
Like, just ride that shit out. Like, oh, man, it's on the back. You know what I mean?
Well, even Indiana Jones, where they're like all these elaborate. It's like, how did they
Punjies
set
and
the
rock.
boulder? They had
Some
20 dudes.
some little like freaking Indonesian guys that are rolling around.
Yeah, and why would you leave the treasure you want in a room with a boulder
You gotta
above
protect it, man.
Yeah, then you can never spend it or do anything with
bullshit.
it. Yeah, if you really think about it, it's like who set this shit up 300 years ago? It's pretty, but it's great to watch though. It's very entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, what has ever really been booby trapped? You
What's
ever
that?
wonder that? Like, so the concept of these booby traps and these pyramids and all this had to come from somewhere. I
Yeah.
mean, do you think there's actually that many booby traps out there in the world, or it was just like
Yes.
one time?
What are you talking about, dude?
No, they're-
I'm gonna have a spear shoot you in the neck. You mean? Oh, what the fuck?
all these fucking booby traps. No one's ever seen a booby trap in their whole goddamn life. But in these movies, just like the Russian mafia, they're all over the place. Fucking booby traps and Russian mafia. Fucking movies.
Booty traps.
Booby traps. Slick shoes. All right, so finally, I don't believe in censoring stuff, right? I don't like it. Not a big fan of it.
Shocking. A white guy in America
know.
doesn't agree with it.
But there's
Boy,
one.
write this date down too, BV.
But there's one that I might agree with, and this is the Peacock censoring some of the WWE content.
What is so racist about WWE content, though? I'm
You
asking
don't remember
a
this?
question.
You don't remember
I'm
the skit
asking.
where DX came out in blackface making fun of the nation?
Oh,
domination?
I don't know. I don't remember.
You don't remember that skit? Because I do.
No, I don't know.
What backstage thing where McMahon uses the N-word?
Oh yeah, where he was a gangster rapper and he's in the backdrop. Yeah.
Oh.
Or how about the black tag team called Crime Time? Do you remember that?
Wasn't MVP part of that?
No, it was Shad.
No. Oh,
and,
what was he in?
I remember.
There was another kind of stereotypical black
geez.
tag team that he was in.
Yeah, Harlem Night. They said in WCW when they debuted, they came down in chains, and a white manager was
Oh,
pulling them
Jesus.
down.
Yes, Sherry Martel.
Yeah,
was
so-
their manager.
Wrestling, in wrestling's defense, though, they've always been racist. They take the biggest stereotype
Ask
of that
Hogan
race.
how that works
Yeah.
out for you.
Even
Well, that's
right.
why- I mean, it's that's part of why I think this is kind of an issue with me, because it's why they're. I mean, you can see NBC's stamp on it, but this is the core of wrestling. You take every poignant social issue and you use it to
Yeah,
play on the emotions of people that are either going to love or hate it.
yeah. Sergeant Slaughter was a sympathizer for Iraq back during the Iraq
Yeah,
War.
I mean,
Even the Scottish wrestler Drew McIntyre now comes down in a kilt with a giant Braveheart sword. So they love their stereotypes in wrestling. They really maximize them. But I can see why Peacock might have to edit some
What
of
are
the
they? What are
stuff.
they editing? When you refer to editing, is it like kind of like?
They have
There
all
are
the
the-
WWE networks.
I know,
Yeah,
but are they
they're
going to go through
removing
and
it
chop
from
it
the
out,
site.
or are they just going to give you the preface of like, hey, there's some?
From what I understand, they're chopping it out.
Okay,
Like,
that's what
Yeah.
I'm asking. Okay.
yeah, like Disney just puts a disclaimer.
Yeah,
in
that's what
front
I'm
of their
saying,
Stuff.
yeah.
This one, they're actually like, okay, this episode of Raw with the blackface,
Just no,
that
huh?
this is going to be cut out.
Imagine you're the intern that has to watch all the old WWE stuff and flag it for rape. Do they get a black intern kid? Sit here and let me know if any of this offends you.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I don't know. But, yeah, so I thought that was funny. Kind of justified in this case. But that's been wrestling for years, and nobody cared because there's always big buffoons wrestling, and no one really gave a shit. But there you go. So is there anything else before we leave here today?
Well, I've got something funny.
Uh-oh.
So before we went out of town, I had a recall on the Chevy Bolt. And I took it over, and I was going to drop it off at the dealership while we went out of town. So that way I don't got to worry about, sit there and all this shit. Like, here, just take my car, fix whatever the recall is, and I'll let you know. They treat you like such shit when you're there for a recall. Like, because they can't sell you anything. Like, they just don't give two shits about anything I had going on. I asked the guy, I'm like, hey, so they're supposed to be doing, like, updates for the, like, in the infotainment thing for the Alexa. Oh, they do that over the air. I'm like, well, can you guys do that here? Because I haven't got that push or anything. No, they just do it over the air now. I'm like, I've not seen any one update since I've had the car since 2019. Do you have, like, the current update of this? Yeah, they do it over the air now. I'm like, okay. Like, obviously, you don't want nothing to do with me. The fact that you can't soak me for $400 worth of services, it was just hilarious to me. And then I don't understand, too, why you have to meet with, like, a service rep whenever you go to the dealer. There's got to be, like, that guy. And BD worked at a dealer. Maybe he can explain it to us. But, like, you pull up in the bay, and then, like, the guy's got to come out. It's Jim. He's going to write you up over here.
Yeah.
Like, it's like
Ford does the same thing,
Yeah, it's
too.
like, what the just give me my shit. And, like, it's so annoying. I just can't stand dealership shit and all that. Do you guys have the same experience, like you said, like at the Ford dealership shit?
What I run into at the Ford dealership, they send me emails about, you've got so many credits through your Ford Pass and all this stuff. You get an oil change, we'll pay you money.
You bring it in, we'll give you a $20 bill.
So I'm like, all right, well, I got to take it to the dealership. It's going to be fucking free. They're going to fucking give me a free Coke. I don't know. I go there. First off, every time you get an oil change at the dealership, it's an hour.
Yeah. Dude,
It's a solid hour. The oil change across the street gets that 10 minutes. I got to sit here for an hour. All right, fine.
But they do more than just change your oil.
They lick your steering
Well, I got
wheel.
a point on that, too. Remind me to hit you on that.
So then at Taylor Ford, which isn't hurting for money because this is the biggest, cleanest.
No dealership is.
Yeah.
It's the most beautiful place you go in these
Yeah,
things.
yeah. Except for like Joe Bob's corner shop
Yeah.
or whatever. But so I go. They got a whole cashier section.
Of course, there's like a girl who works there.
And you walk up, Mr. Marker, your car's ready. All right. Well, I had that pass. Oh yeah, we added that. It'll still be $52.95. What?
I had the coupon.
It's like you told me I had the. I
dude.
printed the email.
Didn't mean shit.
We did add it. It's still $52.95.
And so that was the point, like I was gonna say too. So like GM sent me a recall. It was some master fuse, something. I got an electric car. I don't know what makes it work. Unicorns, whatever.
Yeah.
So I give it to them, and obviously, like I said, they don't so much as run a rag over it. They don't charge it for me when they have it for the 3 days that I had it there. They won't do shit. They changed the part, pulled that shit around, said, have a good day, and kicked me my key. They wanted nothing to do with me because they didn't give me shit. But meanwhile, like the old white guy pulled up in like a new Z06 Vet, and like, oh, it's Jim, you know what I mean? It's like, fuck you.
How do you have regulars at the service
Yeah, that's
center?
what I'm saying. But like it's and of course, like Jim's got like the Corvette coat on and shit like
Yeah.
that. And that's the only thing I gotta ask BV, because again, he's the only one who's worked at a car dealership here. You worked at a dealership, right, BV?
Long time ago, yeah.
How much swag do these guys are dripping in polo shirts and hoodies and fucking? They must just back the truck up like at a Chevy dealership and just give them all the swag and everything. It's just,
It wasn't like that when I worked but I worked at a import dealer back in the early to mid '90s.
Yeah, a little different,
in Dearborn Heights. So
so a little
it
different.
wasn't. Yeah, but
Holy shit.
It's weird. I've had two like completely different experiences with this kind of stuff. So the Cadillac dealerships, particularly the one that's out by me now. So I had two leases with my Cadillacs. One I turned in at this place, and then I leased the next one from them. And so all of my basic maintenance, because of the lease, all the maintenance was covered. All the oil changes were free. I'd come in. It would usually be about an hour, but I would sit. They have this nice, nice comfortable, waiting area with a big screen TV and drink
Don't
station.
make me comfortable.
Snacks.
Get my shit ready.
Yeah. Well, no, but they try to make
your
it
shitty coffee.
But they would if I went in for an oil change or something like that, they would do that. They'd your tire rotation. They'd check all your fluids. They'd wash the car. They'd vacuum it out on the inside. They try to upsell you some things occasionally. Now the Lincoln that I have been going. The dealership I got it at was a Ford Lincoln combo. They've just split off, and so now they have a separate Lincoln dealership. So I haven't experienced that yet. The Ford dealership is a little bit more basic. So I go into the Ford dealership. They just have a seating area with a bunch of just little chairs. There's no there's no like real, not swag, but there's no like, luxury accoutrement. You don't get like a drink station for free drinks or anything like that.
There's
you just
a vending
machine.
Yeah, bottle of water's $2.50.
And they're pretty cool. Now they still when they do an oil change, they still wash the car. Yeah. They still go in and they'll vacuum things out and whatnot. But the stuff's not with the Lincoln. The oil changes and stuff like that aren't free. And I've only had a couple oil changes at this point. So,
dude,
but yeah, it's not so. But they're not. But they do things. I mention things and they'll take a look. They'll make changes or whatnot. I have had experiences like what you're talking about in the past before, whatnot, and oddly, one of the best places that I've had for experiences with dealerships is the Volkswagen dealership for Abby's.
That's because they don't want you to sue them because the EPA that they sold you that car on is completely a lie.
Yeah, well, they've got because there's been a couple recalls on that car, and they'll actually contact you, like try to remind you, hey, you haven't brought it in yet. Would you like to?
They send you like the shit, and like I said, I just wanted to take it in because, like Steve described, there's no such thing as quick things at the dealership. It's a 4-hour minimum. It's like, this is killing me. Yeah. I could go to freaking Uncle Ed's for like 10 minutes. Like, what is happening?
My iPad dies after 2 hours.
It's like, I got a plug. You got a plug over here?
This is so terrible.
For me, it's kind of easy. Like, I have this thing. I could do like a concierge sort of thing where I could either drop the car off and get a loaner, or they could come to my house. They could come. No, it's part of the service. They could
part
come
of raping.
Yeah, so they would with the Cadillac dealership, all that was free. If I wanted them to, I could actually come bring me a loaner, pick up my car, do the service, bring it back.
Yeah, that sounds like a hassle.
Yeah, it was kind of a hassle.
Now you're filling up this loaner and everything like that.
I
just want to know why the guy couldn't throw my shit on like the generic Phase 2 Charger that all these dealerships have. You couldn't just leave me on the Charger. I'm saying, like, you recalled the shit. Like, the least you could do is just throw me on a Charger and wheel me around. Okay, don't run a rag over it. That's fine.
They've already got your money.
Yeah, it's
the only
bullshit.
thing you get free at a Ford dealership is the little piece of paper they put on.
Yeah, thank you for being a whatever.
Or no, so the mechanics don't get your floor dirty.
Yeah.
They put the.
Do you find that the places don't keep good records on things either? Like, for example,
I have an example of that
so
one.
I get regular emails and stuff in the mail from this Cadillac dealership. Now, mind you, I haven't had a Cadillac since January of last year. They still send me things
like
for
maintenance minder type shit.
Yeah, maintenance reminders for cars I don't even have anymore.
Yeah, I get those.
Yeah. Like, your SRX that I haven't had since 2017 that I turned into them. Like, it looks like it's due for its 75,000-mile service.
So apparently Dad bought the Mustang and Taylor Ford also.
So now they're doing the AAA where Dave and Steve names get flip-flopped.
Well, he took it in for an oil change. They're like, Mr. Markey, you got so many credits on your account. They were mine! He's like, I'll use them.
That's awesome.
I was like, you dick.
I
knew they were yours. I used them. You dick.
That's hilarious.
So, yes, they back up the records all the time.
And that was a funny thing, too. So I went online. I looked up the recall thing for my car, made an appointment over at Les Stanford just because it's real close by my house over here, put even the recall thing. I had to go there, and the dude had no idea, no time, no nothing. I'm like, what the fuck? I did all this shit on the internet. Like, why am I having to refill out all this stuff? It's so dumb, man. Dealerships blow.
I got a recall for your old car right now.
Oh, do you?
They had to spray some crap on the drivetrain.
Oh, jeez.
I haven't taken it in there yet. I mean, if it's going to break, it would have broke already.
Yeah, wow, right?
But I got to eventually run.
Has he got 100,000 on the Honda yet?
No, still under right around 94,000. What's this? She's talking. maybe I should go down to Cedar Point, me and Nathan. I'm like, really? You could drive a fucking 12-year-old car down to Cedar Point? No. I go, why don't you get his sister or her boyfriend to go, and then the four of you go down there. That way you don't got to drive and you're riding in a better car. Yeah. What?
We used to take old beater crap cars all over the place.
Yeah, I'm a male. I don't want some sexist. I don't want.
He wants his daughter in the kitchen barefoot.
I don't want my young daughter broke down the side of the road in fucking middle of Ohio somewhere. Do you? Nobody does. Like some big goof like you or Charles break down. Nobody cares. I don't know when my little girl broke down.
Oh, my Lord. Daddy's little girl belongs in the kitchen, baby.
And I don't want to drive down to the kitchen either. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
I'm like, can you Uber from Sandusky?
Like you said, the shit we used to do. But the nice part is the cars are so much more reliable than they've ever been, too. Yeah. So, I mean... It's hard to tell her no when she has an issue with the car. It says brakes. It's like, okay, well, no. What's wrong with it? I don't know. I don't like it.
Didn't you guys once abandon one of Bert's broken cars on the way to Cedar Point back in the day?
Yeah. We left it at a gas station. He literally just wrote a note to his dad. Dad, Mustang's broke. It's at a corner of Wick and Telegraph or wherever the gas station it was. I forget where it was. It's like, dude, you're serious.
How much does an oil change on that big Mammoth F-150 cost if you were to pay for it outright?
Like $60-something.
Wow. Yeah. How many quarts of oil are in like an F-150?
110.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do they just get a 55-gallon drum and just start pumping it into it?
I think it's 6 or 7. I'm not sure. Really? It's more than traditional. I don't know. The only car that has the amount that qualifies for the cheap amount is Holly's car.
Yeah,
your old Honda.
Well, I always used to go to La Fontaine because the oil change would be $10 because they want to bring you in on an oil change and hit you with 50,000 other things. And they hated me because I'm like, nope, I'm good. Nope, I'm good.
Nope. It's like when you get the free pass to the gym you get for your buddy. So I can sign you up for this, but no, I just want to work out with my friend.
No, I'm good.
That is the worst. The free gym pass is always the worst.
Back up, dude. Just not working on me. Go try some other sucker.
Yeah. Well, do you have a checking account? No. Do you got $3 in your wallet right now? No, sorry. I don't have a wallet.
Let me check. Oh, I got 50 cents.
So I can sign you up for 50 cents.
Oh, hold on. It's 25.
Damn it. Yeah, I hate those guys.
All I have are these $100 bills.
I think it was with Brack or somebody. He would always give me a free pass to like LA Fitness. Yeah. And they would sit me there for a half hour just drilling me. It's like, nope. No, thank you. No,
and then Planet Fitness came on. That shit finally started to die. Everyone hates Planet Fitness, but they have changed the gym industry for a better. I don't care what anyone says.
You just bring in your buddy, sign them up, no hassle.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
And it's $10. Like, what are we talking about?
LA Fitness got me. They were like, I should have known better. They're like, you can get a free workout with a trainer, when you signed up. I was like, all right, I did it. I worked out with the guy. It was a good workout, a good thing. And that fucker would not get me away from his desk. Well, listen, I can really help you out here and blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, I not right now. It was ridiculous. It was like $70 a workout, 2 workouts a week.
Oh, Jesus.
I was like, yeah, it's a car payment to work out with you. I was like, no. Well, then
you don't become a physical trainer unless you're a persistent asshole.
Yeah.
So then, imagine, so you find some asshole who's super persistent and works out all the time. So you immediately take him over and you go, listen, get other fat bastards to work out with you and we'll pay you a mint. And they immediately do it. So.
Yeah. So, yeah. It was like, and then he called me.
Oh, wow.
For like 2 weeks.
So then you feel awkward even going to LA. You don't want to see him. You're like, oh.
Yeah. The good news is, though, he quit like after 2 weeks.
Yeah,
so
thank God.
I was like, oh. It's like I had to go in off hours. It's like, what are you working on at midnight? I'm trying to hide from this trainer.
Dude, that gym guy, fine.
So Randy re-signed us up recently, and I got that call. Would you like to work out? I was like, no. I don't want to work out. No, you fucks. Yeah. I mean, I'd like to get a personal trainer, but $70 a session? I mean, are you kidding me?
Crazy part of the industry.
Yeah, it's ridiculously overpriced. $20 a session, I think about it, God, 70? Get the hell out of here. All right, folks, that's going to wrap us up for this week as we look forward to Tuesday and then finally the big wrestling event this Saturday. If anyone else, Greenwell, she said, the restaurant
that one
in Grand Rapids. It might have been that. It was gross either way.
So, terrible food out that way.
So, Bill, good luck on your. We'll talk. No, we won't. We'll talk probably we'll be doing the podcast right when the Final Four is going on.
Oh, okay.
So we will miss some of those games. So
No, the podcast. No, we're going to do the podcast Tuesday.
And then the wrestling on Saturday.
The national championship. Yeah. Well, yeah. So we'll miss. Yeah. Well, no. That's this upcoming weekend.
Oh, I'm screwed up. All right. Well, good luck to your team. Good luck to my team. We're the last two to win some money. Hopefully, one of us wins money. That'd be kind of nice. Would like to win a sports bet once in a while. Last one I won was that UFC Ronda Rousey one. That was I won Michigan State not too long ago too. So all right. So until next week. I'm sorry, I'm getting all discombobulated. You catch that fatguyslittlepodcast.com, Apple iTunes, Google Play, and wherever podcasts are available.
iPods are available.
I think that Twinkie was spiked. I swear it was. It's a damn dealership talk. Threw me all off. I hate them bastards.
All right, and Charles, we'll see you next time.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. This is Steve and Charles. All right.